for me. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Cardinfall, episode 20, part 2. We just got back from a break, got some food. We almost just had a death in the family, in the form of Aether.
To be honest, it was actually kind of close to 2 deaths. Everybody just kind of ignored Crumbs sinking to the bottom of the ocean.
If Crumbs could not breathe infinitely, Crumbs would have been in bad shape. Yeah, a mind flare had its tentacles wrapped around Aether's head and almost ate her when her shield and Nyx came to the rescue. Crumbs almost sank to the bottom of the sea below the harbor district, where they eventually found there is a giant brain with tentacles writhing around it beneath the harbor district. Who knows what that means? Anyway, then our heroes escaped to one of the houses in the harbor district, seemingly occupied by a small dwarven family of one dwarf and his daughter. I'm so happy you all survived. Are you all right?
I think we'll be fine as long as it's okay. We maybe stay here until it's daytime again.
Please stay the night. I was cooking something for dinner.
This head cause problems for you?
He goes inside the way. Yes, it is fine, but please do not show my daughter.
Sorry.
Of course.
That's not a person, is it?
It's one of the monsters.
If it was a person once, it's not anymore. I can tell you that for sure, Zeus.
Oh, all right. I just wanted to make sure that no illegal activity was taking place.
Oh, no.
We're cooking some dinner. Feel free to join in if you would like.
Oh, that would be marvelous. Also, I'm just gonna... Nyx is probably still in a bit of a rage, disguise right now, so she probably looks terrifying, so she's just gonna drop that and go back to normal Nyx.
Oh, true. I guess I'll get small again.
Except one thing. Are you all allergic to this root? And he holds up a root, and Crumbs that goes into your brain of cooking knowledge, and you're like, that is super poisonous to humans. And he's like,
no, I'm kidding.
he's adding it to his stew that he has going on, because dwarves are poison resistant, so they're they can eat stuff that humans can't.
That's so cute.
Is it already in there?
In that one, but he looks over and goes, "Oh, I apologize," and gets another stew going that doesn't have that root in it. And you see that he doesn't seem to know what spices humans can or can't have, so he doesn't put anything in. It's just the raw materials of basic vegetables and some fish.
He's trying his best.
This is my time to shine. I have my spice pouch with me.
Save the day,
Yeah.
Crum. Save the day.
Can I just try to improve it? This is all I got.
Absolutely, make a cook check for me with advantage because your spice pouch.
Ooh, I think I did really good on the first one. Yep, that's what 27.
That stew, you know exactly how to replicate the flavor of dwarven cuisine in a way that humans could eat without dying.
Dying?
Who knew pepper was the secret ingredient? That's all you need. A bunch of pepper. Oh, I'm kidding.
All right, thank you so much. I will keep that in mind. Yeah, so unless you guys would like to do anything else, you can take a long rest in this person's house.
I want to do
You're a strange dwarf man.
I want to just be an artificer and just use not tinker tactics, but just my little artificer thing. What's it called? Just make an object. I just do that. And I'm gonna go up to the daughter, and I'm just gonna be like, "Hi there. Sorry for crashing in your house tonight. My friends and I appreciate it a lot, but I figured I could make something for you." And I make a little light up star that has little other tiny stars like flying around it.
Wow. Thank you so... Can I keep it?
Yes, it's for you.
Thank you so much. And she like runs off with it before her dad sees.
And when she like shakes it, it changes color.
Ooh, very cool. Yeah, you see, you're just like shakes it nonstop for the like next however many minutes.
Just to be clear, I can hit the long rest button.
Yes, you will be going through the process of a full long rest.
And I'll recover 1 level of exhaustion.
Mm-hmm.
I'll need to get another long rest before I can get rid of the other one, but...
Okay.
And while we're like long resting and chilling here, I have forgotten 3 games in a row, but I want to look at one of those Dunamancy books that Felder gave. And I know it's probably nothing specific, but I just want to like be looking at it. Just be like, I want to learn more things.
Sure. Make an intelligence check for me, or an Arcana check.
While Aether's doing that, can Nyx look through the documents they got from the lab, just sort of in a corner?
I don't know what's happening today. I don't know why.
No.
You've had a very stressful day. You spend the time looking through the pages, but all your mind can think about is the tentacles wrapping around your head and the teeth so close to your brain.
Yeah, that's valid. That makes sense.
Yeah, make an investigation check for me.
Can I get any sort of advantage or proficiency since it's like familiar terrain for me as far as like Laszlo and Dorothy in the lab?
I don't think so.
Okay.
It is Laszlo and Dorsey are your territory, but official documents and legalese is not.
Okay, that's fair.
One, same thing. A lot's on your mind. A lot of natural ones today.
I rolled like 4
so
far.
But we move on. You wake up to sunlight shining in through cracks in the wood. You can now, with confidence, know that whatever's going on here has ended for the next 12 hours.
Let's put this thing to Felder.
Right. Get that to Felder first. And then home.
Do you have a bag that I can put this thing in?
Are you asking me or the dwarf?
I'm asking the dwarf man.
Oh, yes, I suppose we do. I could sell it for you for a couple silver.
Yeah, of course.
Wonderful.
Thank you so much. And he just gives you like a burlap sack with a string around it that you can tie around your...
Silver?
2.
Cool. I'll give him 3.
Oh, very nice. Practically nothing for you, but relatively significant for the average person.
Especially since he let us into his house and we ate some of his food.
Yeah.
Stay safe out there. Don't go wandering around this district at night, you hear me?
Oh yeah, it was a mistake. We will not be making again.
Thank you so much.
Yes, have a good day. And he lets you out, and you see the now bustling harbor district as you see a bunch of fishermen, including the dwarf behind you. They get ready for unpacking and getting a busy day of collecting fish.
While we leave that dwarf's house, presumably while nobody is looking at me, I'm just going to put a coin on a random table.
Oh, very good.
A gold
That's very
coin.
kind. Yes.
Cool.
That's the only coins I have, apparently.
I'm assuming that we already got our pancakes.
Yeah.
What are the 10 hit points for that?
It is 4.
Nice. Cool. I have the sack of Mind Flayer head over my shoulder. We're making our way to Felder.
You guys head over to Felder. It is no big deal at this time of night. You go head through the network of networks of like buildings and just docks connecting this floating district, and you eventually make it to the border of the Harbor District and the Axel District, where Felder's lab is. You enter the building, you have access, the security lets you through. You go there and you find today's Atraxis day.
Stratus can still benefit from the Mind Flayer head, though, so.
I think they're doing relatively the same research.
Yeah, pretty much. Oh, hello. Good to see you.
Hi, we came across this in our nightly travels and figured that it would be of use to you for research.
Aether, I've been working on the Stone District stuff enough. You have no idea how excited I am to see this so that I can finally do something else for a little while.
You had any updates on the stone stuff?
Yeah.
He looks down at the ground for a second, and then he looks back at you. No, not that I can share, anyway, and not anything that I would think you would be interested in anyway.
You can't even share with us, even though we have super fancy Azarius Legion access?
I'll say again, I don't think you'd be interested in what I had to find anyway. Nothing of much value. Afraid this has stumped even me.
All right.
No. Did we tell Felder about the Court of Galadon? I can't remember.
No, you did not.
No.
Because he almost used like a remind thing. They didn't. They felt really bad about it.
Aether, do you think we should maybe provide a little more of what we know?
Sure. I don't see what bad it would do.
So, the brief amount of time we were in the Northern Axel District, we sort of came in contact with the entity turning people into stone. It refers to itself as the Sculptor.
If you've heard whistling, that's them.
According to them, they are a part of the Court of Galadon, and while they are the first, they are not the last to appear, as I'm sure you've known about the cartographer to appear outside of the Sanctorum District in the water.
I know no such thing.
Oh.
No, now you do.
Well, now you do. We came in contact with the second entity on our way to the Sanctorum District and contacted the Azarius Legion immediately in order to get assistance. More are coming still. I believe the other names we were given... The Butcher and the Gardener.
There could be more.
All part of this Court of Galadon that we don't understand. They all wear these strange masks, kind of like the masks in Fortuna, but
Twisted.
Different and wrong.
I see. Are they these beings? Do you have a sense of them? Aberrations? Fiends? Could this have been an illusion?
It's not an illusion.
They're very powerful, we know that.
It seems like the essence of them comes from the masks. The masks that we usually see them wearing, but they are the masks.
So these masks, some sort of arcane artifacts from long ago, presumably. Is somebody making these right now, or are they created by someone long ago? Do you have any understanding of their history?
The sculptor mentioned that they were sent here, so I don't think anyone here is making them.
Called upon by the Sakaar Syndicate.
What? Called upon, like from another plane, but there's no other planes to access.
Somehow they were brought here by the Sakaar Syndicate in their quest for power. This was the previous leaders of the Sakaar Syndicate, of course, but...
Doesn't make any sense. If the gods couldn't survive this collapse, how could the...
I think there might be something more complicated afoot than we originally thought.
Even though what we thought was already complicated.
You see, he starts to grind one of his like ogre teeth down as he's thinking. I'll keep this in mind. Thank you. Is this private information? Should I tell Felder?
We think you can also tell Felder, yes.
Yes.
We apologize for not telling you both before, but we weren't sure who had access to the information. We weren't sure.
Things
But
have been
now
very dangerous.
Do you think I should tell the Azarius Legion?
They already
They
know.
know.
I think. Yeah, we told them.
I see. I'll keep this in mind. Thank you.
Of course.
All right. I'm going to work on this. And he holds up the bag for a second. I'll contact you when the research is complete. For your contribution, we will make sure that you are there to see the research come to its fruition. Can't be sure how long that will take, but keep that in mind. There is Felder and I will both be awake for this. You see he's troubled, and he's like kind of going through the motions of what he was going to tell you before, but his mind is not present. All right, I hope you understand, but I have things to get to now.
Of course. We should get going home anyway.
Let us know if we can do anything else for you.
Please.
We're limited, but we can try.
At the moment, the answer is no. However, I sense something is coming. Be careful and aware. Find out who to trust and keep them close. Right. You stay safe. If you ever need to escape from anything, if you ever feel like home isn't safe, my lab is always available to you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Home?
Homeward bound?
All right.
Yes,
He says one thing. Understand what I offer you isn't a kindness. This is strategy. I trust you all to be good people and good assets in the coming storm. Whatever that may be. So stay alive, because we may need you.
We'll try our best. Circumstances are certainly not favorable to that, but we'll try.
All right. And you guys can leave and head back home to the sounds of Sharon whistle after what feels like eternity.
Okay. I forgot what I was gonna say. I'm just gonna hang up that poster in my room.
Oh, okay. Very nice. We're gonna play some. You enter your room. You finally open up the door. The glass window had been fixed. You put the poster up. God, this place is a mess all the time. Yeah.
It's a nice mess.
Our mess.
Yeah. What do we do now?
I guess we take a look at these documents.
Right.
Although, to be honest, I would rather just sit and stare at a wall for a while.
I mean, I could look at them if you'd like to stare at a wall.
Eventually, I need to go to Jotunheim and talk to Golrian.
Right.
But, that can wait until we figure out what our next steps are.
We should probably see if we can somehow check in with the Legion to see if there's any updates on the cartographer.
We just got a message in the chat that says we have no volume.
Yeah, no, I just checked it. It works on my Twitch.
Weird.
Don't know who HaylaKhan73 is, but that might be an issue on your end.
Let me double check my phone real quick to see if I'm getting.
Yeah.
Because it says it's outputting audio, and whoa.
I hear it on mine, too.
Yeah.
Sorry, viewer.
But thank you for letting us know. Apparently we have 5 viewers right now. Interesting. I wonder if it's just us.
I think it was all of us.
Yeah,
There's only 4 of us.
I see 2 viewers.
So there's 2 that are not us. All right. Well, I was able to hear us. I think we're probably good.
I think if one person can hear it, it probably means it is outputting.
Okay.
And that's kind of all I'm worried about.
Yeah, I was able to hear it when I played it through my phone. So.
How many days have passed in the last like 2 sessions? Like maybe 2, or has
I
more?
would think only 2 days. I think we spent a whole day at the Sanctorum district.
Okay. I was trying to remember the time frame of the election because it's in like a month, and so I was like,
Ryan, you're still muted, by the way.
Thanks. I didn't notice that.
I forgot about Dr. Donald. I just saw that written down in my notes.
What did you forget about?
Dr. Donald's, where we got the French fries.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Sorry, I just saw that written down. I can look at these papers if you want to, I don't know, do anything else.
I think I just need a moment.
Right. If you want to talk about anything, I think here is the place as well for that. Well, we're not getting attacked.
I don't know if it's a talk about thing. It just I feel kind of guilty. You know,
Why?
I escaped the lab on my own. I didn't take anybody with me. I didn't think to save anybody else. I just saved myself. I wouldn't know how to save anybody else, and I don't know, just I had this heroic notion that we were going to find this stone giant and rescue them and save the day and be heroes, and instead I watched as his lifeless eyes stared at me and I could do nothing to help him. And that could have been me. But I ran and I couldn't save anybody else, and it just was, I feel helpless. And I don't know. It's
Nothing about what has happened has been your fault. I mean, even with you, your escape was a reaction to things that they were doing to you. Self-preservation for your own sake. I mean, what else would you do? Especially since you didn't even know anyone else or how to save anyone else. There wasn't anything else for you to do. It is not your fault at all. I think that the fact that we even went after them in the first place proves something. Seems like we were the only ones that did.
yeah. No, I escaped. I feel like I should do something with that opportunity, even if it just means running back there to kill them myself. I don't even...
Well, we don't know exactly where they are, but you did leave that note, which I'm sure will lead to something. We're not done there yet. We just had to leave momentarily. I'm sure that we'll get whatever answers, or maybe vengeance, or whatever you want. Others.
Aether, you hear the ding of the doorbell.
Okay. I get up.
You see the small dwarven mailman with the circle beard. He goes,
Yes.
and he hands you a letter
Thank you.
with the Azaria's seal on the top.
Oh, hi. Okay, how's this day going to start? Let's open it up.
You open it up. Dear Aether, there's things I would like to discuss with you. At your nearest convenience, would you please visit me at my home in the Azaria stronghold?
I need to see what spells I have. I don't know. I have a bad feeling about this letter. Does anyone have like detect magic or anything?
I don't.
Can I just like do a general like check for that. I don't have like a spell that I could do.
Well, I'm also gonna say, Crumbs, do you want to answer that question? Matt, can you hear us? I'm gonna say that no, Matt can't hear us.
I'm sorry. I was reading something, and
Oh,
my
no, you're
brain
fine.
does this thing
Okay.
where if I'm reading something, these just
Your ears
off,
turn off.
just completely off. I
Um,
don't process sound when reading.
She asked if anybody had detect magic.
Oh yeah, I think so. Let me take a look.
Yeah, can you just check this letter just to make sure?
Oh yeah, of course I could do that. No problem. Let me just. Do you need it like now, or can we take like
Yeah.
10 minutes? Like right now.
Well, I guess 10 minutes would be fine.
I just, are we gonna be fighting somebody later today?
Let's just take the 10 minutes.
Let's hope we don't fight somebody later today.
You never know with you guys. I'm just making sure.
You're definitely not wrong.
We'll take our time. 10 minutes later, my
I'll, like,
eyes
clean up the
go
room.
from yellow to a swirly purple.
No, there's nothing. That letter's not magical.
That is no
Actually,
magic.
you
Thanks for
do
waiting,
sense some faint amount of magic. But I'm gonna say this for free. The magic is a small spell that keeps the letter dry and like from folding or crumbling.
That's so
There's
cute.
some magic that's like preserving the paper and making it look clean, but that's it.
Oh,
They
okay.
definitely, whoever sent you this, definitely wanted to make sure you received it.
Right, well,
Do you think this has to do with us talking to Draxus? Or even Goldervon?
I don't know. There's
Or
so many
the cartographer showing up? And us
There's
yet
so
again
many
running
things
into
that this could be about. So I guess we won't know until we go there. Did we want to go by Jotunheim first, or?
Did you want to make an investigation check on the papers first?
Yes.
I'll assist you, so you can get advantage. I'm
I
assisting.
already get advantage, I think.
Oh,
She might need it
triple
later,
advantage.
so.
Yeah.
Sometimes I wish triple advantage was a thing, and then
What
I
do,
also
what do you think I just rolled?
a 1.
I rolled a 1 and a 20.
Hey!
All
So
right.
24.
Yeah.
You look through this. Many of these are boring shipments about the upholding of facilities, applying for different licenses, and like ordering a bunch of materials. However, hidden throughout several of these documents, you do find that there's in a way that is supposed to bureaucratically hide these purchases. You find a set of ingredients that seem to follow encoded within some of these papers. You find several ingredients ordered in for a couple different rituals. Let me look. Where did I write that? I wrote it somewhere. All right. You find a rituals. You find 2 different rituals. Let's see. This is you find 2 different rituals. Understanding them is a different story.
Mhm.
Can I get 2 different Arcana checks? Because you rolled a natural 20, I'll give you advantage.
Okay. Uh, 16.
Okay, so this is the first one. That does succeed in the first one because it's pretty... Well, you have a lot of experience with some of these ingredients. What you're looking at is a proposed combination of the blood phage and the smart material, combining them into one problematic monster.
That's not good at all.
The second ritual, I'll take another Arcana check at advantage. This
Okay.
one is more complicated and not something you're experienced with, so the DC is higher.
Come on. Dice gods be in our favor.
21.
21. I'm not going to tell you what this specifically does. However, something you can understand about it, this ritual relies on a couple of different things: the thoughts and the wills of people, massive amounts of people, and two, the manipulation of incredible amounts of divine energy. Like the batteries that are holding Crumbs up are just like a speck of sand in this beach of energy that is involved in this ritual.
Can you repeat the first thing?
Some involvement in this, not the power, but perhaps the direction of this ritual is
Yeah.
fueled by the thoughts and opinions and the wills of people, massive amounts of people.
Interesting.
Well, this can't be good at all. Why would they want to make some kind of creature like that?
I have no idea. Power? The Sanctorum District has been operating separately from Cardinfall for, I don't even know, a long time? Much to the government of Cardinfall's dismay.
But why would Goblin care about that?
Maybe it's some sort of twisted way to strike fear into the heart of people and make them see a god that he believes in? Promises salvation? I don't know. I really don't understand his things.
Yeah. I think Crumbs have any ideas?
Crumbs started reading again.
Crumbs is busy cooking. Crumbs is busy cooking.
Crumbs is cooking. Crumbs is also designed to be a side character because I knew I was gonna have a hard time paying attention.
Okay.
My only idea is the thoughts and wills of a lot of people. Are they trying to bring back Paylor? Because it said that Kingsguard believes that he's just like indisposed somewhere.
Maybe.
But I don't understand why they would need the monster.
Maybe as a form of sacrifice?
Maybe.
Enough blood sacrifices could make a deity, I guess.
I don't know.
Maybe this is another thing you can bring up to Azarius. It's related to Goldervon, related to your past, a threat to you and to the Azarius Legion, and somehow is also related to whatever the heck my past is with the Simic Order.
Yeah.
It'll
Yes.
unfortunately be a little out of their jurisdiction, but...
So should we go there now, or?
I would like to go to Jotunheim first if we're able to, but I don't... Did we talk to Omar about how there's a way we can get in there without him?
I don't recall doing that. However, I was thinking about it before, and I'm just gonna say, I think there was like some underground sewer passage that was pre-designed for you.
Okay.
So we don't have to worry about it right now.
Okay. So we can go through there instead of bothering Omar so close to
Sure.
election.
Yeah, she's busy.
Yeah. So you guys head under, and go through this passage and head to the. You head to the Jotunheim district, if it's a district. You know how it is. Sorry, I'm looking through my musics. I don't think I have anything for this. I know I did, but I don't anymore. Okay. We'll just keep this for now. You head to Golrion?
Yeah.
All right. You head over to Golrion. You pass through several dragons and giants who pay you no mind. You eventually arrive there. She opens the door. Ah, hello, Giantkin.
Lizzie, you're frozen for me.
I'm frozen? Am I
Yeah.
frozen in the stream? I'll turn my camera off and on real quick.
Sorry.
Ding ding. Is that better?
Mhm.
Ah! Go around. Can we talk to you for a moment?
Of course, I always have time for you. She lets you in, takes you over to her stone table. Gently helps Aether and Crumbs up to her seats, which are designed for people much larger than them.
I suppose you could say we have a bit of an update on that mission we were on.
So,
You see her face. I'm not going to require an insight check, but I think both Crumbs and Aether instantly recognize that no part of her expression reveals that there was a possibility of good news coming out of the next few words.
So, we found various, but as no surprise to you, I'm sure he was already, gone.
We tried.
He was taken by the same people who gave me my abilities to change my appearance. And I won't tell you of his fate. But where we found him, we found this soul stone, and I'd had some idea in my head that maybe his soul was still in here and that you might be able to do something with it. Or at least put it to rest. I don't really know how this works.
She goes up to you and she gently puts her thumb and strokes the side of your head and then rubs it on top of your head and messing up your hair a little bit. I know how much this meant to you, little cat. I'm sorry that it didn't turn out the way that you wanted. I will take this to his mother. I can promise you this. You made her grieving much better just for giving her for letting her know how her son is dead and that maybe there's just a little left of him, maybe just in this rock. I know it's not as much as you'd hoped, but I promise you've made this world just a little bit better for us.
Thank you. I have a feeling that the other missing people, besides, of course, that one dragon that just sometimes disappear, may also be going to this place. And, well, we're looking for a way to take them down. I personally want to take them down. So, we're working
We've been
on it.
having an issue in the town. Some of our buried dragons have been stolen. The bones and scales and corpses of long and shortly dead dragons have been stolen from us in the night, as if our bodies weren't sought after enough.
We did see a dragon skull there as well. I'm sure they're going to the same place.
Not exactly uncommon. Our corpses are treasured among. I don't want you to worry yourself with these things. Please, stay strong. We walk a nightmare, but sooner or later we may wake up into a dream.
Well, someone's got to care about these things.
I promise. I do enough caring for the both of us. Keep doing what you do. You help people everywhere you go.
Nyx is just like gonna hug her hand.
Mhm.
Okay, we should probably get going. We have a meeting with somebody to get to.
Yes. She takes you over and she gets you some like spices and like fruits and stuff to take home with you that are like only really accessible out here. You take care of yourself.
You too. Hopefully I'll see you again on better circumstances.
Let us
She
know.
walks you out the. Sorry, I missed that, Corona.
I just said, let us know if there's ever anything you need help with.
Will do, little bird. And she opens the door for you and lets you out. As you hear the stone door shut and like slam to a close with a grinding halt. How much longer can they do this to us? Just like Raid yelling to herself in the building. And yeah.
Off to Fortuna?
Yep.
All right. You guys head over to Fortuna.
Oh,
It's quite a long trip. It's taking like between traveling today, it'll take most of the day after this meeting. It'll probably be like, depending on how long the meeting takes, it'll probably be like 5 o'clock by the time you get back.
That's fair.
You head up to Fortuna. You go through the whole like staircase to heaven. Arriving in Fortuna, a driver takes you to the Azarius Legion stronghold, and eventually you're taken over to the house of where Azarius lives. Azarius stands there and at the entrance, and he beckons you forward. He's not wearing his armor. It's just like still like regal as always, in like long robes, not appropriate of the era, but and also he's so buff. He's like sculpted like a Greek statue. He looks like the statue of David, you know. Um, but truly inhuman with the fire burning in his eyes. Aether, it's a pleasure. If you wouldn't mind, we could just talk.
of
Just you
course. Okay. Nyx and Crumbs, I guess you can stay.
Yes. He opens the door and lets you into his like house with a like nice nice like entry room. Some small bookshelves, but not indicative of the whole library that you know is in this house. Aether, I just wanted to talk to you because I have not had the opportunity to be in your life for very long. And you're an adult now, and I've missed the formative years of your life. Um, but I still feel, as fatherly instinct dictates, that I do what I can for you. Um, you you've done good things with your life, but sometimes I worry about the people that you spend your time with.
Is this about my friend?
Not entirely. We can hold this conversation off for now. I also wanted to give you a gift. Um, he gives you a key and leads you over to a separate room in his house. And he goes, "This is where your mother stayed."
Oh, I'll like put the key in.
Yeah, and you can open it up, and you open the door, and you can see in there is a like, it's just a beautiful small like small room with a double bed in the center, and like all kinds of musical instruments, every musical instrument you could imagine, all scattered throughout this room. There's a small recording studio around, and he goes, "You must know I offered her a larger room, but she wouldn't take it." Um, the floors and like the walls are made out of wood, but you can see like a glowing enchantment around them to keep noise from exiting.
Yeah.
Um, And it's just like a beautiful, somewhat messy room. I haven't touched it since she left.
Of course. It's it's more than I ever imagined.
I'll give you some time in here. And he shuts the door behind you. If you can spend as much or no time in here as much.
Yeah, I'm just gonna like look at everything. I'm not gonna touch anything because I'm too nervous. Just gonna like look around. And then I'll like come back out.
Before you leave, can you make a perception check for me?
Yeah.
I'm very suspicious.
I'm also a little scared, but oh wait, I get advantage. Okay. 26.
26. So your hand is on the doorknob, and but something catches your eye, and you see a little notification in your goggles, and they point you over, and you look behind you, and you can see there is one of the planks against the bed is slightly pulled up, and it looks like it had been messed with. But at the same time as you notice that, the door opens gently, and you see Azarius on the other side. I apologize. I just wanted to give you a little something of your mother.
Of course, I
You can take anything from here that you would like. But...
Is this what the letter was about, or?
Yes, mostly. I just have some concern. Um, I don't want to sound rash, but you spend your time as a mercenary. I've read up on your acts, and you call yourself the Sewer Squad.
It's not official.
Hell yeah, we do.
It's not official. It's just Nick's.
Right. I'm concerned about the people you spend your time with. I'm concerned that they may be a bad influence to your future. You spent, you found yourself in prison and left and spent a lot of your time with a criminal, uh, somebody previously involved with the Sakar Syndicate, somebody who was, then you spend your time with them and with an ex-drug dealer who wasn't even really successful enough to get involved with the Sakar Syndicate. I don't mean to be rude to them, but I'm afraid of the crowd you're falling into, and I must, if I can be so bold, I don't think these are the people you should be spending your time with.
What other crowd do you think I would go with? What other future is there, if not for people like us trying to make it better?
Well, there are multiple colleges, both here and in the Sanctorum district that are specifically for brilliant engineers and artificers. You could spend your time getting a proper education and refine the talents that you have already excel at. You could, if that isn't something you wanted to do and you wanted to keep fighting, you could work for the Azarius Legion and save people every day.
I think me and my friends are kind of involved in a little too much to just forget that and start new lives in these organizations. As much as I respect them, I think there's a lot of trouble coming very fast that a lot of people don't seem to know about.
Both of you two, see some Azarius scout walk in, and he's like walking briskly, and he opens the door and he says, "Azarius, the mask is talking." And Azarius's eyes go bright for a second in just a deep fire. What would have happened if I was talking to someone that wasn't my daughter? Do not say these things out loud. Leave right now. And his eyes just go with just fire. And he doesn't even like fully turn to look at the scout. And the scout goes running back, and you see a small trickle in his pants.
Oh
Can I just
I
say,
apologize about
Azarius
that.
is giving me very big Sam from Mamma Mia energy right now, and I hate it. That is all. Continue.
I
As
just
much as
believe
I
you're
would
capable
like,
of more than this, Aether.
we're all trying our best. I don't think that there's any other option that's more right or more good. I think that all of us are headed towards the same path, which is just trying our best and helping people. Maybe in a different way than you, but I don't know.
And say I understand you, Aether. But I have to go. I spend as much time here as you would like. Hopefully it won't be too long, but if you need to leave, then you need to leave. I understand. Um, and he walks out to follow where the scout was out.
I'm looking at that wood plank right now.
Yeah, you turn around. Um, you go in and it seems like a wood plank that had just been like maybe altered. The nail in it is like not nailed into the floor properly.
Can I
You
like?
Yeah, you wedge it open. It takes you a few tries, and you look in, and you can see there is a small leather-bound notebook covered in dust.
I'm gonna look at it.
You open it up, and the first few pages, you see Dear Diary, Aurora de Flores, um, starting from the young age of 13. Um, she is. Would you like to read this now, or would you like to?
I want to read a little bit now.
Do you want to skip around or read from the front?
I'll start at the front and then I'll just take it and go back. But I want to
All
read
right.
at least the first page.
I'm not gonna like actually read word for word.
Yeah,
I'll give summaries. So 13 years old, you gather she lived in a very poor area of Sanctorum District. Her parents moved there. She wasn't moved there. They are not native there. They were once relatively wealthy for the Axel District, but then blew all their money in gambling, and now they were trapped there and couldn't leave.
Hmm.
And had been trying to work their way back up, but had been effectively unable to do so. So she spends her early years in her enclosed room that she's barely allowed to leave, um, except for when she's sent off to work at one of the at just like one of the local movie theaters where she gives out like popcorn and that kind of thing. Um, but you do see scramblings of like little songs that she writes, and from what you know of music, they're not super well written or complex right now, but you understand like she's like always working on little music even at the age of 13.
I'll just like wrap it up, put it in the bag, and then go back out, close the door.
Do you put the wooden plank back or?
Yeah, I mean, I figured that
Okay.
I'd like
Mhm.
put it back.
Yeah, sure. Okay.
I go back out to this. I didn't have any updates. It seemed like you probably saw the guard, I guess, that ran by with the only update I suppose they had.
Do you want to wait so you can talk to him about our Goldervon sighting and the stuff with the blood phage?
Yeah, I forgot about that somehow. I suppose we just wait from here. Where did he even go?
If you wait there for an hour, he will return. Do you wait there for an hour or no?
Well, if we wait there for an hour, we would get home at like 6, right?
Mhm.
That's not terrible.
Yeah.
I didn't have any other plans
Okay.
for the day, so.
Either can explore the house or like explore the room or do whatever.
Yeah. Anywhere where she knows she's like allowed to be.
Yeah.
Gladly walk around.
Basically just the foyer and that.
Nyx is surprisingly keeping her hands to herself.
Wow.
To do in the house of an archangel.
But like she's actually just kind of sitting on the couch. Like there's not even like an active visual restraint that she's not like holding herself together. She is like just sitting there. Quiet.
Deflated balloon.
I also forgot to mention this. So it was before where she was a more vibrant pink. Her, especially since like the whole Sanctorum stuff happened, her color is very faded. Her hair isn't as spiky. It's almost like she's like lost some of her spark.
Aww. She's like a wilting flower.
Like a wilting flower, exactly.
All right. You wait an hour there before like you feel a gust of wind as Azarius's wings like blow out and the doors in front of him just like open up from the force of his wings alone. And then he steps in and the wings pull back behind his back. Oh, good to see you're still here.
Yes, if you don't have any updates for us, we have some for you in terms of these, I suppose, investigations. I don't know what to call them anymore. Where do we even start? Well, I suppose we start with what was, I guess, most recent. We ran into Goldervon again. In Sanctorum. It seemed like he was doing a bit of a deal with the Syndicate.
The Simic Order.
The Syndicate, the Simic Order, they both start with S, you know what I mean? The Simic Order, that one. Something about rituals I don't really understand. And I like kind of
despise those heretics.
But he got away again, naturally.
I'm surprised the King's Guard would reduce themselves to work with heretics, but they can never go solo.
They definitely have some kind of lofty plans. I'm like looking at the paper thing. It seems like they're looking to use those blood monsters I talked about combined with something that the Simic Order is creating. I don't know what for, but they also mention needing a lot of divine energy for something, and a lot of people believing in something. It's very vague.
Keep this in mind. I can get my researchers on it.
Right.
And he takes the papers and
Yeah.
puts them in like a pocket behind him.
Has there been anything else about the cartographer?
The cartographer. It's speaking in riddles. I assume it's all nonsense. Something about
A play?
Something about a play. Yes. So you've encountered such things before?
Unfortunately.
I suspect it's madness driven from a. While it prevents us from understanding it in typical terms, I will assess it as an aberration, even though it won't be classified so simply. I assume it is madness from whatever is left of the far realm where it came from. But I wouldn't worry yourself. They are a monster to be contained, just like the others.
Insight check.
And yeah, go ahead.
He just seems so dismissive of something so deadly to people. He's also an archangel, so can probably defeat my insight. 17.
17? I'm not gonna say you get any sense whatsoever. He's hard to read.
That's fair.
I'm not sure, but I wouldn't just put it off as madness. I think that these things know exactly what they're saying and how they're saying it.
Perhaps. I believe that they think they know. But we'll see. We have more research to be done.
I just worry that because we know so little, that I don't say that any of us are shrugging this off, but I think whatever's coming is coming soon, and just researching here, I don't know. More needs to be done. I don't know what that means, but I'm worried.
I do too.
I can't recall if we told you this. We're expecting at least 2 more to also be coming.
Yes, it mentioned a butcher and a gardener.
Yeah.
Yes. We'll see what happens. Well, this one is certainly more cooperative than the other. Perhaps the gardener or the butcher will be even more helpful. We can't say. This one, while non-hostile, is not exactly forthcoming, although not necessarily from an inherently deceptive manner. Perhaps one of the other ones will be more coherent.
Do you know the whereabouts or anything else about any of the other Kingsguard? We've really only ever run into Cardinfall.
Aether, it is dangerous for celestial beings such as myself to make promises. But I can promise you this. If I knew where they are, they would be dead.
Of course.
They would feel flames hotter than all the 9 hells could have produced.
Makes sense. I figured as much.
Well, Aether, do you have anything else that you wanted to discuss before we head home?
So there's really nothing else that you know about the reasoning behind. Well, obviously they thought you were distracted with Aurora, but it just seems like there's something else.
And I'm sure there is, but I don't know what it is. I have my best people working on it. I can promise you that.
Right. Well, maybe we should be going then.
Probably. We certainly don't want to take up too much time.
Yeah. And as we're walking out, I'm gonna like look back at him and just like stop before the door closes.
Hmm.
Azarius, do you think that I'm not trying to be good?
Aether, I think you're trying very hard to be good. I just think you're walking the wrong path to get there.
I'll leave.
Mm. You do. And the door shuts behind you slowly. And you can leave and go back home if you'd like.
No other stops we want to make? I don't have any.
Just gonna slowly walk around Fortuna, see what it's like.
Sure, you can spend a lot of time in Fortuna. You see many incredible shops. It's still a city up here, but the space that each person is given is so much larger than in the lower districts. Um, and the place is just beautiful. There's not a speck of dirt or trash anywhere. It's pretty gorgeous.
Can I stealthily pick a flower?
Absolutely, you can. Make a stealth check. Or sleight of hand,
Sleight
actually.
of hand, I would say, yeah. I'm gonna sneeze. But I don't want to. Nice. 15. Sorry, no. 14.
Yeah, you're fine. Yes, that does work. Yeah, you can pick a beautiful little violet flower. And you watch it, the petals don't have a solid color. they reflect the exact pattern that the sky has.
That's pretty. I guess we wander around for a bit and then we go home.
Sure. You could do you just want to go Fortuna, or do you want to visit the Arboretum district?
Oh, can we? Does the
Yeah.
pass go to? Oh,
I mean, we'll get home really late.
what else are we gonna do?
Get off
Or
this
you
other
can.
point of exhaustion that I have. Oh, I was supposed to disadvantage that sleight of hand.
It's okay. I'm not that worried about it.
I keep forgetting
You
that. I'm so sorry.
you also tried to sleight of hand it, but it's super not illegal.
Oh, I'm just used to that kind of stuff being illegal.
Oh, for sure. That kind of thing would be illegal in the downstairs districts. But not here. You can head over to the Arboretum district. You see that you kind of assumed that the Arboretum district would just be flesh gardens, but you actually find that there's a large amount of very large cultivated trees. This is a place of residence, just like with the Fortuna district. But you see a lot of wood and high elves living here, and these giant tree forts, both in and amongst the branches and inside of the trunks themselves. Um, this is a beautiful residency area. However, deeper into the districts, you do see maps and stuff leading you in the direction of the Flesh Gardens if you'd like to go there.
Sorry, I'm writing something down because I just had a
Mhm.
random conspiracy theory pop in my head, and I need to write it down before I forget. As it does. Okay. We love conspiracy theories. I'd be happy at looking at some trees.
Yeah, it's absolutely gorgeous. It's a lot like the oh, and you see giant like dog-sized flying squirrels going from branch to branch and just like all over the place, and like little chirps all throughout the sky. Um, you see a little tiny fruit bats flying around. Um, all kinds of beautiful fruit trees growing around. It looks a lot like the outside the district. However, less of a sense of impending doom and the mutation of your flesh as you walk.
Right.
Yeah. All the good, none of the bad. You just have to be super rich to get it. Um, yeah, so you begin to walk throughout that. Do you want to end up in the flesh gardens?
Yeah.
You go there and you see there's like a small fence. You expected some sort of like high security and stuff. It's like a small wire fence guiding through. You see signs that say entering the flesh gardens. Um, uh, like feel free to take any fruit labeled from a fruit or vegetables labeled from something marked with blue. If you see something yellow or red, please ask an attendant because they may be unsafe or inaccessible. Um, and you can walk on through, and it's still beautiful here, but um, there is a there is it's still very macabre. These trees, every plant, every type of plant you could imagine, from trees, apple trees, small bushes, um, like soybeans, grass that grows barely above the height of your ankle. Each and every one of them has parts reminiscent of human bodies. You see a small wheat field with human teeth at the ends, instead of the small, wheat has like the small berries up the top of it. Each of those are human teeth. Um,
Oh, wow.
That's
as the wind goes over top, you hear like the clatter, and it sounds like bone chime or wood chimes. Um, you see there's a tree very similar to the one that you saw in the forest, but this one doesn't have the whole body on it. It's just a normal looking tree, but out of the top. And you see red pulsing through each branch, and at the end of each branch, you see a pulsing heart. At the end of each branch, you see all kinds of macabre, kind of disgusting things. But I would say the overwhelming majority of plants you see are kind of these just vague fruit-like trees that have these normal-looking fruits at them that just look a little too red inside,
I don't know
which is
about
what you guys
you.
normally eat downstairs.
I don't know about you either, but I feel like eating fruit from here doesn't look particularly appealing simply with the atmosphere.
You see eventually you start to hear a noise, some vague chanting, and somebody yelling through, muffled yelling, deeper into the forest.
Strange. Are they getting very excited about this fruit?
Does it seem like struggle yelling?
Yes.
Oh.
I want to go that direction,
Yeah,
sort of
let's go.
stealthy.
Okay, you run that direction, and you see in a small patch, there is a person there, that is you see a person there. There is a set of 8 people in these green and red robes, surrounding this person, holding them down into the dirt and tying them down. They're not like stabbing through the hands or anything. It's like just wrapping ropes around their hands and laying them down into the soil and locking them down. And the person is like yelling through some sort of like cloth over their mouth, um, clearly not consenting to whatever is happening here. They're a half orc. The other people look like a mix a of a of like maybe elves, maybe some humans, maybe some half elves, but primarily maybe wood elves.
Um,
Before
I'm probably
anything,
just gonna run over.
yeah, Nyx is immediately like, "What on earth are you doing to this poor person?"
There is a person who is a satyr, takes off her hood, and she steps between the two, in front of you two, puts a hand in front of your chest. I apologize. You've walked into you've walked into an important ritual. I I am Voda Serla. Um,
I'm sorry.
I'm
Voda what?
Serla.
How do you spell that?
Sherala. Oh no, sorry,
Ser.
La.
And you said Vodo, like Liliaga was?
Exactly.
Interesting.
What is this
Um,
ritual for, and why does it require that?
It's a execution. This person has committed an awful crime and was declared by the court to be put to death. There were options for this person. They could either work for the remainder of their life, they could be exiled, or they could be executed through rite of flesh, in which they would become one with the soil and feed the remaining of Cardinfall. This is what they chose.
Clearly, they're not choosing it now.
I would always imagine that somebody fights their end when it approaches, regardless of what they thought. I apologize that you walked into this site. We should have had somebody locking up the perimeter. We are fulfilling our part in the law and doing what we can to feed Cardinfall. If it would make you feel any better, I could tell you what this person has done.
Please.
This person broke into a house with a young family in the Axel district and killed every single one of them, except for the child, in which he tried to hold her ransom in exchange for money. And then when the Embernox guard were able to capture him. Luckily, the child did survive. But that wasn't because he wanted her to survive. He's a bad man who did bad things. Um, and now the law found him to pay his debt to Cardinfall, and this is the way that they found was the best way to do it. He's too dangerous to work. He's too dangerous to work, and he chose not to go through exile.
I suppose there's nothing for us to do.
You're welcome to stay here if you would like, but you can also stay back if that's what would suit you.
I'd rather not witness this.
I understand. I can walk you away. And as she walks you away, and as this conversation was happening, you hear chanting around him, and he starts to yell as you see this sprouting of a tree grows through his chest. And as it grows out, it's just like this small wooden like tree, but in the center, that just really widens out, and you can see a pulsing heart through just like really thin bark. And it starts to grow up, and the tree grows around it more and more. And he's still fully conscious and alive as his heart grows into a tree around him.
My God.
I know it's gruesome, but such is the way of nature. And this is the best way that he could do something good with the very remainder of his life.
I suppose. Do any of the people, and the satyr included, have any sort of like emblem on what they're wearing to indicate like a specific Gruul clan? That's what they're called.
No, there is a symbol, but it's a symbol associated with the Flesh Gardens and the people that run them, but not specifically with the Gruul clan.
Okay.
Yeah, she walks you out to the edge of the Flesh Gardens. Please, I apologize if I could get you any food or anything that would make you... I understand. Somebody could lose their appetite watching such a thing.
I think we're good.
I apologize.
Probably
Have a good day.
Okay, I guess we can go home, but even after that, what do we do now?
I'm really not sure. Sorry, How much of the food actually from the Flesh Gardens gets to the lower districts?
In total, it actually seems like a lot does. Because
Okay.
something you also notice about the Arboretum district is a lot of normal farms. Like non-flesh related normal food. You had always been brought up under the idea that the only food available was Flesh Garden food. This you now know not to be true. There's plenty of food up here, but it never reaches the lower districts. Flesh Garden food, though, does.
Interesting.
There's too much in this world that needs to be fixed.
There's not nearly enough of us to fix it. Maybe we just go home, sleep another night, regroup in the morning, and attempt to figure out where to go next.
Yeah, while I was in there with Azarius, I actually found something of my mother's. Maybe we could, I don't know, I definitely want to look at it, but I'm thinking maybe some of it might hold answers that we don't know. I don't know.
Maybe. I mean, if her kidnapping had anything to do with the Simic Order and she had any dealings with them before. Or maybe she wrote about whisperings related to them in the Sanctorum district.
Yeah.
But I also think that sounds like a really great way to get to know your mom.
Yeah.
I'm sure she was wonderful. She had a lovely singing voice.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, homeward bound.
Homeward
You
bound.
go back home. Because of your detours, it's closer to 8 when you finally get home.
Fair.
But you do. And you get down with the setting sun. As Lathander takes an end to his journey across the sky, and you arrive back at the sounds of Sharon Whistle.
I'll just start reading.
I'll
Sure.
check for mail or messages.
Sure.
Apparently you get mail and messages.
You do. You're getting a lot of mail and messages these days, although nothing right now. You see some ads. You see, make sure you vote this coming voting season, and several ads from another member of the Senate, and also from, and you also get one about Omar.
Cool.
Yeah, a bunch of trash mail. And you start reading. So let's go over the story of your mother. Because you flick to the end and you see that this goes until her, like, mid-30s, which you now know to be the end of her life. So you see that she, you see several, how am I saying this? All right, so you read to the part that you did then. You see her, her building up the courage to run away from her family. She eventually does. As the more you read that they were more and more abusive. But she eventually runs away from them, becomes independent in the Sanctorum district, living homeless, couch hopping in friends' houses for a long time. But eventually she gets discovered by like a small agency where she starts doing music, pop music mostly. And she does pretty well after about a year or two. At about 18 years old, she actually starts to like pick up a lot and gains a lot of popularity and starts a really like significant career in pop music. And that's what she does for a long time until her mid 20s. And she's building an incredible career, but she's unable to really leave her audience is really unable to leave the Sanctorum district until she, through a chance encounter and a attack of water elementals that were living beneath that were living like a bubble below the Sanctorum district, escaped and attacked the area where she lived. She was saved by a bunch of Azarius Legion scouts, taken back to the Fortuna district for recovery, where she was there met Azarius, who helped heal her. That just began a spark of love between the two of them. She talks about how it felt to fall in love with such a godly being. And you know, the love like grows and blossoms, and after a little bit of time she starts spending more and more time in the Fortuna district that he allowed her to enter. Of course, you also read that this affair was largely kept secret, not because it was illegal or against Azarius's vows or anything like that, just because kind of scary information to have out. But you read as he allows her access to the industry of opera, and she does exceptionally well at that too. And then she gets a huge audience in the Fortuna district and just other parts of the upper districts, and she's making tons of money now. But she doesn't seem to like opera as much. So after she's made more than enough money and popularity and fans to like kind of do whatever she wants to start moving back to pop. Unfortunately, you start to catch hints where Azarius didn't really like that, and he preferred the more traditional opera music, and specifically her doing that because of all kinds of like, you know, it's more traditional, less revealing, more, you know, whatever. And over time, you gather a sense of Azarius having more and more control over her career. You start to catch on to her complaining about certain legal control that he had over her career. You start to catch on to her getting more and more upset over his controlling attitudes to her life and career and things. That gets more and more serious as time goes on. She talks about finding out she's pregnant and being afraid to tell him. She talks about uh, she goes away for a while in the Sanctorum district, and she mentions lying to Azarius about the reasons why she was going, and the reason, of course, was she talked about like doing deals and things like that, and working on some legal issues involving her career. But of course, it was actually because she wanted to stay there when her pregnancy got became obvious, and then she had a daughter who she felt a deep connection with, but decided to hide, and used and had a friend uh, transported over to an orphanage in the um, the the Gearhold district, where she was going to go and find the child after she ran away. Um, she eventually says she goes home, and she writes down, "I'm going to leave Zarius today. I'm gonna hide. I'm leave Zarius today. I'm taking a friend's car, and I'm going to drive to Gearhold, and I'm going to disappear tonight. Zarius, if you find this, I'm sorry it had to go this way, and I'm sorry I couldn't tell you in person, but this just can't go on this way." And that's where the pages end.
Oh my god.
Oh.
I don't know what to do with this information. My brain is just like. Well, wow. Is Nyx there? Are you just chilling too?
Just chilling.
It seems that my mother chose to leave Azarius.
Was he too controlling?
Are you reading over my shoulder?
Powerful men are all the same.
Yeah, I suppose it lines up with what he wanted to talk to me about today.
Yeah?
Oh, something about worrying that I'm falling in the wrong crowd.
Yes. Well, you are currently best friends with a former drug dealer, so. Although, in my defense, technically your crime was worse, but you were just worse at doing the crime, which is an impressive feat. I will tell you that, because I was pretty bad at dealing.
I mean, tax evasion is like one of the most harshly punished offenses.
It wasn't on purpose. I didn't have the money to pay them. Oh god, damn it!
How funny would it have been also if you guys were like, "What did he do? He evaded his taxes."
Aether, as someone who does not know who her parents are, I can say that I would love for you to have a relationship with your father more than anything. But if this journal holds true and this is what happened to your mother, your father is going to try to do the exact same thing to you.
I suppose. But there's also still the matter of the King's Guard, and now I'm even more confused than ever. Obviously, this journal doesn't hold all of the answers to exactly what happened, because of course, why would she be writing that down while it's happening? But
So, if I'm remembering correctly, and correct me if I'm wrong, The story your father told you and us that day we were there and asking was that your mother was kidnapped by the Kingsguard in the Sanctorum district?
I remember the kidnapping part, obviously. Trying to remember whether the kidnapping was in the Sanctorum district.
Because
I, as the DM, do not remember.
okay, I thought I remembered that. I'm wondering if it, because clearly, and I don't say this to sound harsh, your mother didn't make it back to the orphanage to get you.
Yeah.
So
I'm trying
maybe
to figure out how much space is between those two things. Whether the kidnapping happened at all and something else happened, or if it happened after she left. I guess there's really no way to find out right now from this.
Would you? It's weird that this exists. Want to look online?
I mean,
sure.
I
Good
tried.
one. Aurora de Flores kidnapping.
Or
You
death.
when you look that up, you don't find the word kidnapping under the search results. You see killing. There is a story out about how in the Axel district, her car had been found in the car that she was known to be in. There was a fiery explosion that resulted in her death, and all that could be found was a charred body who only through magical means was determined to be Aurora de Flores. She appeared to be at the time of the explosion. There are no witnesses. However, the forensic results suggest that she was speeding, perhaps intoxicated, although they can't tell. She was in a state of, no matter what it was, and there's no proper explanation at the moment, there's just a bunch of conspiracies. And they list things like she was like drunk and drunk driving throughout the Axel district, or she was running from something, or like maybe her gas lines were cut, that kind of thing.
Do you think it's possible the Kingsguard interfered with her vehicle?
I can't say that we can rule that out.
My other question for you is, do you think your dad found out the truth and sabotaged it himself to keep her from leaving at all?
I also can't rule that out, I suppose. Well, in terms of next steps, I don't know.
Maybe are there pictures of the vehicle online?
Yeah, sure.
Like, can we tell the make and the model and that kind of thing?
You can see, I don't, like, I as the DM don't have a ton of information on that,
Mhm.
but I can tell you it is a unassuming normal vehicle that you would expect to see in the Axel district, not befitting of someone of her station. But you can see the entire front of the vehicle is just charred and black. The windshield and like the windshield totally eviscerated. You can see parts where the metal itself was melting. You're like, there is no wonder the body was barely recognizable. You're reading the reports. In many cases, a lot of her body, bones included, turned totally to ash. Not all of it, though.
Normal car explosion.
It's not, and you see a lot of stuff about that. However, it would be congruent with certain types of bombs. It would be congruent with rare but possible type of engine explosion if there was like the right type of like gas mixture. And like arcane mishap.
I think we have a few options. One, if it's a bomb, maybe we can go talk to Quazzle about potential bomb options, potential dealers, potential ways that bomb could have gotten there. Two, see if we can find information on whose car this belonged to figure out who your mother was friends with and borrowed this car from. Three, Zykia's specialty is motorcycles, but she knows a few things about arcane engines. Maybe she can help us determine if that explosion is of arcane means or something else.
I feel like that's a good place to start, considering she's right here. And it's definitely too late to go back to the Harbor District.
Maybe we can sort of make our way around. Go to Zykia, see what we can get from her. Go to Quazzle, see what we can get from him.
Yeah.
And after that, I don't know, run plates? Where do we even do that? The sheriff's office? Do they have license plates in Cardinfall? Is it the same sort of system?
I think of one person that might know the answers to that question.
Yeah.
Crumbs!
I don't know. Ryan knows whether I know, but I'm just saying.
You know of standard car laws, yes, there are license plates and things like that.
Not me literally forgetting that Crumbs was in the Ember Knox Guard
Yeah.
every single time something like that happens. Like, literally, we just have, like, you as a resource for something as menial as how do we run tags? Tags
The
would be
number you
recognizable
call,
on
and then
this
you give them your
vehicle.
police ID number, or the Ember Knox ID number, and then they run the tag. It's pretty easy, actually.
In fact, I think with the right equipment, Crumbs himself could run tags.
Oh?
I can say, like, even as a park ranger, I can run license plates. I just call them and give them my ID number, and they're like, okay, here's all of that person's personal
we're
information.
lucky. Either Zykia has some illegal technology to do that, or Quazzle has illegal technology to do it. But either way, it's going to be technology.
Yeah, and maybe somehow this can point us in the direction of the King's Guard. Is that what we're trying to do?
Maybe we can figure out if it was really them. Maybe we'll give answers. Maybe it'll give closure. Maybe we can find a connection to your mother.
I feel like figuring this out in terms of everything that's happening now is probably the most important, rather than just seeking closure. Because something's gonna happen and we don't know what it is.
To be honest, Aether, I have no idea where to go next with the Simic Order. I don't even know if that's something I want to delve into deeper right now. We are very much out of our element with this Court of Galadon situation, and should just be on standby until we get more information in that, rather than seek it out ourselves and potentially cause more trouble, because we are good at causing trouble. And if the world's gonna end, don't you want some closure before you die?
But I feel like everywhere we turn, everyone is on standby, trying to research and trying to look into things, and nothing's happening.
Yeah. You are not wrong. I just don't know what else to do, and learning this information about your mother has sparked ideas in my brain, and we might have resources available to us to figure out what happened.
Yeah, I think Psyche is a good first step.
Sure.
Okay.
Let me.
I'm assuming we're gonna go to sleep, and then is this having gone to sleep?
Yeah, you guys can go to sleep if you would like.
Okay, I'm gonna take another long rest to get rid of my other point of exhaustion.
You know, sometimes I feel like you're tackling progressively bigger and bigger fish, but I wonder if at some point maybe we're biting off more than we can chew.
Almost always.
I don't know what else to do.
My eyes are always bigger than my stomach, Crumbs.
So,
I'll make small
so,
cakes then.
I don't think it'll come into play this game. However, I would like for each of you to level up.
Right now?
Yes.
Okay.
Just in case.
I mean,
you've had 2 pretty difficult fights, and just the rate of this campaign, we're into it.
Bet.
Ooh.
All the way. Also, Lizzie, I'm sure you know, but you do what you want, but if I would do anything, I would recommend you level in Rogue.
That's what I'm doing. I get expertise.
Oh, yes.
Ooh.
Oh, what should I
Just
do?
I just got my 2nd channel divinity per short rest. Means
What's
I
your
can
channel
do,
divinity?
I can either turn undead or do max thunder or lightning damage. And now I can do that twice for a short rest.
That's awesome.
So I get 2 nukes per fight now. That's good stuff. I also get another divine domain feature, which at level 6 is that whenever I do lightning damage to a large or smaller creature, I can also push it up to 10 feet away. Neato.
While you guys are doing that, I'm just gonna give you a small campaign idea I've always had. All right. So everyone is locked inside of a relatively large tavern or something like that, with a bunch of very detailed NPCs, and every day this tavern there's a horde of undead attacking this tavern, and you get to spend a lot of and hordes come in waves and you only have short rests between them, and you have to defend the tavern and the people in there. The NPCs are helpful, but they help in distinct ways that help you, and not in actual have actions in combat. And then you just spend the whole time defending the tavern from the encroaching undead waves. But also you have to play detective because of mysteries happening within the tavern, and different people might be responsible for the undead, or actually leading the undead or stuff like that. Anyway, just an idea that I have in case anybody wants to run that.
That's fun. Sorry, I'm like, oh, I get smite now.
You do have smite. So, fun fact about smite applies to melee weapons. I'm going to give it to you in ranged weapons. However, both are still a problem for you.
Yes.
And I think you get a fighting style, right?
Yeah, I was trying to decide whether I wanted to do Blessed Warrior or Interception.
My HP is 125.
That's great.
And I chose for my skill proficiencies to get more perception and persuasion. My perception's now a +8. My persuasion is a +10.
Ooh.
Wow.
Lizzie's got me beat. My HP is 124.
Ooh.
Oh.
That's mean.
Sucks to be you, I guess. It's not easy being this healthy.
Sorry, I'm taking spells.
I feel like I had
Because you have paladin spells now.
Yeah, I'm taking, for Blessed Warrior, I'm taking Guidance and Toll the Dead.
Ooh.
But instead of a bell, I'd imagine it's the music.
Yeah.
And then I'm guessing, how does it work since paladins use charisma but artificers use intelligence? Do I just keep using intelligence?
No, use charisma for your paladin spells.
Okay.
I believe.
Okay. Well,
That would make sense, yeah.
Smite. Oh, I'm so excited.
I had the full-on, not Laura Bailey moment, but you know how she can get so like emotional while being Jester?
Mm-hmm.
I shed tears with Golrion.
Yes.
2 tears.
We love to see it.
I'm glad you have her. Also, I'm thinking about this. I'm not making any promises to you, but I'm confident. I think you guys might get a free feat.
Oh?
Oh.
Why?
Because I want you to.
Do like feats.
And I like feats. I like when my players have fun things. And I now have custom feats in mind for both Nyx and Aether, and I'm sure Matt's got something in mind.
Oh yeah.
I do, actually. Always. I
Figured
don't
you
know
would.
if it's an actual feat, but I know it is a very common ability that I want desperately.
And that's exactly the kind of thing I'm prepared to give you after some conversation. But I
Pretty
already
sure
have
it's a
one for Aether in mind.
Fighting style, actually? I'm not 100% sure.
We can figure that out.
Are we all leveled up and ready to go to Zykia?
We are.
Yes.
Crumbs, do you want to run the place first or before or after?
But,
Do you want to run the plates before or after this?
oh, we can do it now, I guess. Is it, like, is there some complex technology required, or is it literally just, like, call a number?
You have
Because
the
I can tell you, in
technology
real life,
required.
it's literally just call a phone number.
I'm going to make you do a very low DC investigation check for me.
Sure. I guess license plates aren't Fey Fiends or undead, so I'll just roll it straight. Toof. 5.
That actually
Pretty bad.
isn't it. Maybe you'll just have to give it a shot later. Maybe somebody can give you advantage or something. It's no limit on that.
He's just like, what was that again?
You're like going through it and you're like, how do I do this?
It literally is a phone number, and he's just like, wait, what was that number again?
No, I think in this world it's like
No,
a database.
I'm just messing around.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, he's just like, he like pulls out his phone and he's just like going to the website with the database, and it's like, enter your password, and he's like, shit.
We'll try again later. We'll go to Zykia first and
all right. You guys head over to Zykia's in the morning. You head over to Zykia's in the morning, and you knock on the door. She opens and she goes, "Oh, all right. Hello, everyone. Could have texted."
Hi. Sorry about that.
She as soon as she sees the like tone and look on your face, she like kind of catches on and like gets serious and is like, what's wrong?"
We just need your help with something. Not exactly motorcycle related, but a vehicle nonetheless. We're grasping at a, I don't remember what that phrase is. You know, my grasping
straws.
that one. Yeah.
Sure, yeah, I can look into that. Come here. And she lets you all in, and you see she has like a kettle that's sitting on top of an engine that's currently running, just in the middle, and the heat from the engine is heating the kettle, and she pours you each some tea. And it's not good tea. It's like $1 tea from the grocery store, but it's whatever. She goes, all right, so what was the question?
Shall I explain? We had a question about engines.
Mm-hmm.
So how do I even phrase this? I also don't know how deep you want me to go into this and how much information you want me to reveal either, so...
I can explain, it's fine. Do
you
know of anything regarding the death of Aurora de Flores and the car explosion?
Not really. I have some of her songs on my playlist, but...
I'll like pull up the, like whatever we were looking at online.
Yeah, the pictures and stuff.
We are just trying to figure out, or at least narrow down what could have caused this explosion.
Sure. I can look into that. Awesome. She was all right. She starts looking at the car. She starts mumbling to herself in an arcane engine C64 and blah, blah, blah. And what specifically are you interested in knowing?
Well, do you think this was an engine malfunction that could have caused this sort of explosion, or something else?
Was it foul play?
I don't know. She as she pulls her hair back, some of her snakes hiss or wrap around her finger. And she goes, all right. Let's see. Well, you can clearly see that this car has been modified. It isn't the standard vehicle, but actually, just based on what I can see of the engine here, the modifications were largely in the form of making the vehicle more subtle and unable to be tracked by standard means. By the manufacturer, we can see that it wasn't modified in any way to affect the performance of the motor at all. And this brand of arcane motor with this type of enchantment should not be able to produce a flame like that. And even if it did, the flame wouldn't be the flame certainly wouldn't be hot enough to melt metal. However, you can see that there's that the enchantment holding in the heat on the engine itself is still intact. If this were to be an explosion from the engine, you would have to see that enchantment would have had to be broken.
So someone did it.
Well, I don't know anything about that, but what I can tell you is that this explosion did not come from that engine.
Seems to me like it might be worth seeing our friend after all.
Hey, Nix, are you all right? You look a little different.
Yeah, a lot.
Yeah, it's fine. It's been a rough few days. That's all.
I understand. I'll leave it be. You guys stay safe.
You too.
As we leave, I give her my 4th magic pancake.
Oh, thanks. I haven't had breakfast yet. And you can also see on a different engine, there's a pan and some eggs sitting next to it.
That's so cute.
We'll be sure to shoot you a message the next time we come at your door.
Yeah, please do. As you're leaving, she puts her hand on the back of your arm. Hey, stay safe. Be careful out there.
Thanks.
And you guys can head out.
So,
Yeah.
Wazzle?
The day I get something other than the Hell's Fire grenade will be a very interesting day
Awesome.
indeed. Because I'll finally learn what the other grenades do.
There's some great ones.
I know. I'll never use them.
Yeah.
I'm gonna also just summon Anoki because I want Anoki around.
Yeah. And Anoki gets there. You feel Barley as best as Barley can cuddle up against you. All right. You going straight to Quazzles? All right.
Yeah.
You go to Quazzles?
Before we
Yep.
leave Zykia's, though, Anoki's gonna leave a fur ball on our stairs.
Okay.
Cool.
Noted.
Just for fun.
Sure. All right. All right. You all head over to Quazzle's house. It takes a little while to get there. Oh, hello, guys. It's a pleasure to see you. You see him in his old Navy office uniform with a cannon on his arm. It's always good to see you.
Hey, Quazzle, how are the kids?
Hello. They're doing so good. Some of their arms have gotten as big as 2 centimeters.
Well, we would love to see them, but we also have some things to talk to you about that are of more private variety.
All right. Well, we can just go over to my kitchen and talk about it. And he leads you right past the kitchen and into the secret stairwell.
Yeah.
And also just keep in mind you're talking to a giant salamander. with his
Love
like
this man.
with his like slimy white skin, eyes that you can almost see into his skull through. Um, and every time it
Axolotl.
talks,
I
it's just
love
like
him.
the boop boop boop.
Oh, he's just a muppet.
Yeah,
He's
he
like
is a Muppet.
looking at Soap right now, and I'm just like,
Make him a
Um,
little tattoo.
oh, Soap could be Quazzle for Halloween.
yes.
Do it.
For the special Halloween episode, that's what we do. All right. You head into the. All right. You interested in buying some weapons?
Not buying today. We had some questions for you though about types of bombs.
Explosives, my specialty.
Yeah, which is exactly why we came to you. You are an expert, of course. Aether, do you want to pull up the pictures?
Yeah, I'll pull it up on the tablet thing. We're trying to figure out what might have caused this. I'm sure that you heard about it happening, but in terms of
All right.
specific.
So, this bomb, if it was a bomb at all, I can tell you that there is obviously ignition, fire involved in this explosion. But you see these marks on the outside. You can see bits where there's the scorching and the carbon, where the paint, even in bits where the paint of the car begins to melt. However, the melting of this car isn't actually melting. What is your understanding of the difference between fire and radiant damage?
Minimal, but we do know what radiant damage looks like on a person.
You see, necrotic, radiant, and force damage all interact with our molecules in a way different than the other elements. Fire just burns you so much that you die. Radiant energy works differently. It applies energy to the bonds that make up your body so powerfully that it splits them. Sometimes this occurs it appears in the forms of it looks like burning to people because of the ignition, but you can tell because of the way it deteriorates the body and materials that it comes in contact with. There was fire involved in this explosion. However, there is also radiant damage. Having bombs that provide radiant damage are rare, but not undoable.
Do you know of any particular people who sell these or make these sort of bombs?
Or both.
Yes, the Embernox Guard makes some of them, usually supplying them to other people. However, I know I sell them sometimes. Pretty rare though. Specialty orders kind of thing.
What about the Azarius Legion?
Sorry, Legion makes them, but they like to deal. They don't like to deal in my kinds of technology. Not normally, anyway.
Okay.
Causal, in your time as a seller, and of course you don't have to answer this question, I understand confidentiality is of the utmost importance in your career. I'm going to turn myself to look like Goldergon temporarily. Have you ever done dealings with this man?
That man. Yes. Yes, I have.
When?
Well, it was something around, I don't know, 3 decades ago. No, sorry. 2 decades ago. Yeah, something like that. Somewhere in between that.
Around the time of this car crash?
I don't know when was the car crash.
I think it was just around then.
Did you sell him these types of bombs? Do you recall?
You see his gills around his head start to get like more red as the blood begins to pump through him faster. Yes, I did. Why do you ask?
We're worried he was involved in this car crash. Cosmo, do you also understand that this man was the same man to cause the massacre at your party?
Okay. His gills go like bright blood red. I had no idea.
I'm so sorry. We should have told you this information sooner. We've had a few dealings with him. His name is Goblin, and he's very dangerous.
It's very dangerous. We don't know what he's trying to do, but he has access to a lot.
He has access to a lot of very dangerous things, and is currently doing dealings with the Simic Order and Sanctorum for even more dangerous materials.
I see. And you see he, like, pulls over a computer that is, like, slides on the wall, and he types in some things on the computer. And you see security system updated, and you see a gun inside of this room, and also guns that you saw, like, mounted guns around the perimeter of his house and throughout, are hovering and just, like, rotating. And they go, upon facial recognition, we will fire on sight.
I'll go back to Nyx.
Perfect. If you ever see him, obviously outside of here, when he would obviously get blown to bits by your security system, we would really, really like to know.
Yes, Aether. And he, like, he loads his cannon up. Seaman's honor. If I see this man, he's dead.
Thank you.
There are others like him, but we don't know who they are. He's part of an organization. He's certainly not alone.
Yeah.
Keep that in mind.
Kingsguard of Soul. If you hear that name in your dealings, be careful.
I'll cut off all trading with anybody I can associate with this man or their organization.
Thank you. Well, I guess we have some possible answers then.
Yeah, Crumbs, do you mind trying to run those tags one more time? And if it doesn't work, Quazzle, if you happen to have any way to run tags, we would love assistance.
Sure, we can do that. I'm gonna have you roll that at advantage. Because you have access to Quazzle's technology.
Hmm. 16.
16, that is enough.
I remember
You run the numbers. The car was listed as stolen at the same date of the death of Aurora de Flores. However, the original car owner was known as a woman named Gwendolyn Sharon Whistle.
Now I'm really confused.
You don't think that your adopted parents gave your mother away to keep you, do you?
I don't know. I don't know. It doesn't make any sense.
Why would you?
I mean, might be the wrong.
You also see, just putting this out there, the report that the car was stolen was put after the death of Aurora de Flores. It was not listed as stolen before that time.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Is that what you're saying, Crumbs?
No, I was just gonna say that it might be the wrong assumption here, but I mean, could see perhaps a scenario where your mother found your adopted parents. It's like, hey, you hide my child from father, and they were like, yes, you can come by and see her whenever you want. And your father might have known about that. Might have said, well, now I know where she is. Let's just remove the mother from the equation.
I mean, I could never see my adopted parents doing something nefarious like that.
No,
So.
I don't think that's what happened. But
I
I'm
feel,
just.
no, I feel like that makes more sense if it was more of a like trade-off rather than giving away Aurora. You know.
No, I don't think that happened. I'm just saying that if your father knew where you were, and knew that your mother had some way of keeping you and didn't want that to be the case.
Maybe,
I could just see maybe your father saying, well, if I can't control the mother, then I will just have the daughter all to myself.
I think that's a large possibility. I also think it's a possibility that perhaps your adopted parents just listed the cars stolen to cover their tracks and not be related to the event at all.
Yeah.
Although it seems surprising to me that Azarius would not have looked in that direction further to find you. If knowing the car belonged to your adopted mother.
I mean, hasn't Azarius already said that he's been watching you your whole life anyway?
I don't know.
Wasn't
Still
that one of
trying
the
to figure
first things
that
he
out.
said to you?
No,
Oh.
that was during the like actual fight thing.
He was. I even recall him being confused when you mentioned that you thought you'd heard his voice as a child.
Yeah.
Do you think that it wasn't actually Azarius, it might have been what remnants are still conscious of Palor talking to you to make you make the blood of ages that could then use as a sacrifice to awaken him so he can take back his throne? It's convoluted, but it would make sense. The Kingsguard takes out Aurora, you're separated, you're vulnerable as a child, comes to you in the form of Azarius, a figure that most people are familiar with because of the Azarius Legion. Your father, even though you didn't know it yet. I'm could be grasping at straws myself, but I don't think it's out of the question.
I certainly never thought of it like that, but I suppose it makes sense.
He wouldn't be powerful enough to make the thing himself, but maybe he'd have just enough power to contact you. And the Kingsguard did, in fact, kill your mother so that you would be away from Azarius for sure, and Palor could get to you and use you.
I feel like that theory makes a lot of sense. I certainly don't have any other ideas.
I feel like we're running in circles every time we get close to something, an answer, and it's just out of reach and just enough to be unattainable.
I'm
At
trying
least
to
this
figure out
makes
what
more
our
sense.
I'm trying to figure out what our next goal is. What do we do now?
I can't speak to any of that, Aether. I'm so sorry, for what involvement I might have had in your mother's death. Um, it is. I put weapons in the hands of people, and last time I made a mistake and put a weapon in the hands of the wrong people. This time, I'm certain I'm not. And hands you, and it is it is a +1 laser pistol.
Oh,
Oh, okay. Just write down laser. I'll put it in D&D on later.
Blammo.
Laser.
Pew.
Oh, thank you. We're just trying to fix anything we can. feel like we just really need to know where Gauder went and maybe where Laszlo is, if he knows more about what's going on with these dealings, Maybe stop them mid-experiment before they can... I don't know.
Puzzle, I don't know. I'm sure you have 1,000,001 connections in this business. If there's a way for you to put out feelers for someone like Goldervon without necessarily bringing attention to yourself, I would never want you to endanger yourself or your kids. I know how much they mean to you.
I can do what I can. I feel somewhat responsible for this, and I'll do what I can.
We really appreciate it. And your kids are adorable.
They are.
Thank you, I know.
Well,
He leads you out the back, and
Like Crumbs
you.
I just had a
Go ahead.
realization that like Crumbs wasn't here when all that massacring happened, and I just realized
Mhm.
like he just learned a lot in the last
He did.
like 10 minutes.
Oh,
Like,
damn.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's why they didn't like that guy. He tried to hurt these little kids.
You go outside and you see the fountain house, and there's just like the cascading fountains, and all the little axolotls, which are now the size of actual axolotls, like full adult axolotls. And you see some of them are like, "Pop, pop," and just little squeak noises happen as they like open their mouths outside the water, and they're just like all like just outside the water. You see one of them has an air bubble and is floating upside down, and its arms are wiggling.
Hi, kiddos. You're growing so fast. Oh my gosh.
it's been too long.
It really has. We need to come visit them more often.
You hear a little cascade. Hi, 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 hi.
I wish I'd brought you guys snacks, but I don't think I would have enough snacks for all of you.
No, it's
Just
all right.
casually
They could
reaches
only eat
into
brine
it.
shrimp right now.
Crumbs
Okay.
casually puts away the snack he was pulling out. It's just like, oh, I don't have any of that.
I have
Never
a
mind.
feeling that you should name one of them Soap. That's not a good idea. It's not a good name, but at the same time, it's a marvelous name, and I think you should do it.
No, I don't think soap is an option. Perhaps we could do Soperton.
Soperton is a marvelous name.
That sounds very good.
Perhaps we could do that. They aren't named yet. That happens later in their development.
Oh, well, if the name happens to fit one of them, I would be honored if you would choose it.
Gnomes do the same thing.
Oh, I had
Gnomes
no
wait
idea.
until there's like identifying characteristics, and then they give them little nicknames based off of that.
That's exactly what we do. Oh.
And that's something.
Not about their identifying characteristics, just names in general, but still, nonetheless, wonderful.
Like Crumbleton. I got that name because I was really clumsy and I crushed a lot of stuff.
Rumbleton and Soperton.
I crumbled a lot of tins
Good
when I
friend.
first started out.
Do we even have any viewers right now? I was gonna give the context that I have a pet axolotl named Soap that we call Soperton.
Well, now you just gave the context.
There's the context for our 0 viewer count, if it exists. I have no idea.
There's 2. He lied.
There's 2 of them.
3 on 4.
Wowza.
That's one of them.
Wow,
Now
all
I
right.
don't know the other one
Now
is.
you know.
Probably Ryan.
I'm not watching it right now.
Prena, are you?
No.
We have a viewer. That's
Hi, viewer.
crazy.
Okay. Are we just gonna go home then? I don't know what to do next.
Somebody just said kidnap him and hold him for ransom. I don't
Yeah,
remember what that was in
from a while.
reference.
That was
Oh,
from a
okay.
while ago. That was after we got the letter from Azarius. That was like, come meet with me or something. And I thought I couldn't tell if they were referencing like us for kidnap and ransom Azarius. And I was like, he's a literal archangel. We do not have the power to do that.
I'll give you this though. It'd be cool as heck.
It'd be very
A
cool.
great way to end the campaign. Also, thank you so much, Keelan. We appreciate it.
You know, that just
What
made me
was
think of
that?
like the fact that like the technical things that I've messed up in this campaign have made it very choppy. There are episodes missing and other episodes that are really laggy and horrible, but like campaign 2, that one's gonna be flawless. Maybe we'll start getting viewers for campaign 2.
Yeah, because we figured out all the.
We'll figure out all the kinks of the technical bullshit. Maybe we'll have all of the episodes available for you to watch for campaign 2. Maybe someone
And
won't
thank you.
forget to save those before they get deleted.
I'll remind you.
Or maybe someone won't use a file type that can corrupt if the recording gets interrupted.
Well, thanks also all deal, but I assume that's the right way to pronounce it. But nonetheless,
True.
thank you guys so much for watching.
I think
Obviously all of our stuff is up on YouTube if you want to catch up.
I think AW is Andrew.
Oh,
Because that's yeah.
yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I
just know everybody. I'm exposing everybody's Twitch usernames today.
Yeah, you're really just like saying everyone's names.
Not even their first, middle, and last names.
Would you like to?
No. I don't even know if I remember Andrew's middle name.
What about
oh yeah, it is.
Name or mother's name or
social security number?
Well, I'm glad you've been enjoying it so far. All right. Let's get back to it. What are you guys doing?
Before we figure out where we're going, I'm really nervous about all of this because it seems like whatever they're doing, they're using what I made to do it. And while I watched both of you nearly die, where I definitely could have been killed, I feel like there's some weird reason that Galdervon and them are keeping me alive, and I feel like it's just endangering both of you, but I also don't know what to do without both of you.
Aether, if you think for a second that we are going to leave you because it might be dangerous for us, you have lost your mind.
I don't think that. I'm just putting my worries out there.
The only reason that they let you live last time we fought them is because I don't think he believed he could take you. We had him on the ropes. Based on what he said, it seemed to be like that was a gamble for his own life.
Well, both of us when we met him the first time, so.
Now that he knows who you are, truly,
hey, I apologize. You can keep talking. I'm gonna disappear for no longer than 10 minutes.
Disgusting.
My dog is vibrating. I'm gonna make sure he's okay.
My dog does that too. I think they're just old,
Yeah.
man. They just
I think I think it's fireworks, but I'm just gonna make sure he's not feeling sick or anything. So you guys can do whatever you're doing. Your pause. I'll be right back.
Look at all this extra skin. It's so much.
I'll give you a few dialogue things that the DM already knows all the secrets, so my theorizing will not distract or anything. Maybe the first time we ran into Galdervon, he didn't realize who we were. After longer time, more investigation, he realized who you were. And maybe in that time realized that Paylor finds you important. If my earlier theories proved true, therefore has to keep you alive for some sort of bigger agenda.
Would that mean, in this theory, that for some reason Paylor wants to see all of these people die?
Maybe he does. Maybe he wants to enact revenge or vengeance or godly wrath for being replaced with someone willing to fall to human whims.
I mean, not to overstep my religious knowledge here, but most religions have some kind of story about the end of the world, and most of those stories involve good gods just as much as they do evil ones. Maybe Pillar wants to come back so that he can initiate that. At least that's certainly where this world looks like it's headed, what with all the collapsing and, you know, terrible
We're in a constant
things
state of apocalypse and world ending.
You know, maybe a good god wants to come around and wipe the slate clean.
Maybe our next step, if we wanted to investigate this math problem, is figure out where they're coming from.
Yes.
And maybe we can do that research by getting in touch with the head of the syndicate and seeing if we can get access to old information about the Sons and Don Brosco.
Yeah, figure out how they got it.
Because if there's a portal that they've opened that these things are just walking through, then maybe we can close it and things will get fixed. But that's optimistic thinking from someone who is not feeling optimistic.
It's hard to. Well, how do you think we do that?
Go right back to the only person we know who happens to know who's in charge of the syndicate now.
It seems like we're in good favor with them for some reason. At least the ones in Gearhold.
Maybe we can send a message to Zykia and see if she can get us a meeting. And if not, then maybe she can get us someone who could maybe get us a meeting. And just say that we just want to talk to them for some information, that we don't want to steal their power or get involved.
Yeah. I feel like that could lead to something. Do you think we should check in on our friend in that other district, make sure nothing's gotten worse? Or
The sculptor?
I don't know. We
No,
haven't heard
nah.
anything. It makes me very nervous.
I'm nervous too, but I do not want to be anywhere near that thing. Sorry, a little bit of Lizzie just slipped into Nyx there for a second.
I just
I do
don't like
not want
all
to
these
be.
things happening in the background. All this research and wherever the Simic Order is, wherever Galdervan is, wherever the cartographer and the sculptor. It feels like we're just
Running in circles.
Yeah.
Well, I think we have the luxury of maybe getting to talk to the Sikaar Syndicate that other organizations might not have the luxury of. Except I think the Azarius Legion and the Syndicate were having some dealings on occasion when it benefited both parties. Corruption's everywhere. But maybe our favor that we've garnered could get us a little extra information.
Yeah, I suppose we could try.
I can I'll just shoot Zykia I guess a text message about this and just be like, hey, weird question. What are the chances we could get a meeting with some top dogs in the syndicate for some information? No emojis though.
That takes you a little while and eventually gets back to you. I could send a message to Vograx, but that's as far as up as I can go. Are you sure about this?
Are we sure about this?
I mean, they already know who we are. We're not making any deals with them.
Anything in particular you'd like me to say to them? You get into the text?
I'll reply and say, we're not necessarily looking to make a deal. We are looking for information on some of the things that Don Brosco's sons were involved in. We don't want to interfere with this syndicate's business in any way. We just want some information.
I'll send that. I'll send that to them. I'm not sure that you'll get a response, but I'll do my part. I'll do my part for you. And then like 10 minutes passes and you get text back that says message sent.
Thanks. Still no emojis. Send.
So sad.
Nyx is a wilted flower. She doesn't have energy for emojis.
Yeah.
So you all see, yeah, no, what would you all like to do? Sorry, I'm catching up.
Is there anything that you think Celia would be able to help us with?
I don't think Celia is necessarily concerned with the same human things that we are. You wouldn't know anything about your mother, I'm sure. Maybe we could inquire if she has any knowledge about Paylor. She is older
Yeah.
and magical and fey. We can ask her, but I think this might be a little out of her realm of expertise.
Yeah, I suppose.
I really wish we knew more people because we keep talking to the same 5 people about information and we're just pumping it out of them like nobody's business.
You guys are
Um,
doing great, though.
Not a lot
Asking
of
the right people the right questions, and I gotta say, it's been awesome.
Hey,
there aren't a lot of
look,
people.
that cup of coffee paid off after all.
I wonder how that one guy's doing, the one whose car we stole that one time.
I hope he's miserable. Frankly, miserable. I hope he gets another car that is smaller and less interesting.
He's been the big bad all along.
I will gladly pop his head off. That's all I gotta say.
All right.
So, Celia.
I'm going
Yeah,
to Celia's.
try.
All right, you go over to Celia's. All right, let me get Celia's music up. Sorry about that.
Oh, good. You're the DM and the DJ.
Heck yeah. Excuse me.
What?
Bless
Excuse me.
you.
I don't feel like turning on the light above me, so I feel like my setup right now looks like one of those VR thriller games.
Oh yeah. The door opens to the Ravenclad cart. You walk in and you see the shadowed hag sitting behind her desk as she always does, assorting a small effigy out of smaller skulls of humanoids. Look like maybe adult halflings or gnome skulls, maybe.
Hello again.
Oh, hello. Good to see all of you again.
We have some. I don't know if they're strange questions, but I don't know if they're necessarily ones that you'll be interested in or have any answers to, but we thought we'd pick your brain for a couple minutes while we can.
Yes, surely.
Can I do an insight check? Is Celia actually normal?
Sure, go ahead.
Suspicious of everyone.
Is Celia ever normal?
She's
No.
usually a little bit more cheerful to see us. She seems very weird right now.
Hmm.
I know my hag. She's my best friend.
Right.
Nice. 21.
Oh, no, you do know this hag. She whatever she was working on there is really beating the heck out of her. It's like a puzzle or something that's just annoying her to death.
If this is a bad time and you'd rather us come back later, we would hate to be an inconvenience to your energy.
No, it's good. And just like backhands the like little skull statue out of the way and just slams against the wall. It was driving me crazy anyway. Please, please.
Anoki, go give Celia some cuddles.
Oh yes, good kitten. And your
So
question.
yes, Aether, do you want to lead the foray on this one?
Sure. Celia, what do you know, or what can you tell us about Paylor in any matter?
Aelor, the god of the sun, the king god. Certainly not the first king of the gods, and certainly not the most he called himself the king, people called him the king, but he was never the highest on the food chain. This is, of course, something people understood. He just was one of the most worshipped later in time. I can assure you, to the best of our understanding, I must lend my faith to the arcanists of this time. Pelor is dead. He's plain ash, just like the rest of them. Why?
We're just trying to put some things together.
There's an organization that believes he's merely indisposed, waiting to come back. We believe they're performing rituals in an attempt to bring him back, combining materials that, unfortunately, Aether contributed in making, and another material that was created by the Simic Order. Here, we should show these rituals to Celia as well. We have notes. I'm sure we copied the notes of this stuff.
This organization is either made of fools or liars. Maybe perhaps a mix of both. She takes the rituals. She explains to you, pretty quickly after a quick glance, the same things that you understood, except she doesn't understand the combination of the blood phage and the...
So no other information about the one we were less familiar with?
Not really.
So the blood phage is...
Oh, wait. Sorry, let me roll for something.
Fine. Go ahead.
What I can tell you is this spell isn't new, nor is it in development. This spell has existed for a long time. I've heard whispers of it. It's older than me. I don't understand it, nor do I know its true purpose. But I've seen such a thing before, in the grasps of worshippers of Vecna. I can offer you nothing more.
Okay.
Interesting.
That's something.
Maybe we might be able to find more information in the dead city.
Sorry about that one.
Maybe.
This blood phage is a material that Aether unfortunately created. Unintentionally, I can say that. And this smart material is one that was created by the Simic Order. It can turn itself into monsters, sort of take on their appearance.
Went from a dragon to a beholder. Anything.
Yes. The more it's defeated, the lower the danger of the monster it'll become, but it is still incredibly dangerous. And we believe that they're going to try to combine these two monsters, one of which the blood phage turns people into blood monsters. It's quite terrifying. To sacrifice people in order to bring back Pelor, perhaps, is the theory we have right now. Is this too far-fetched?
Perhaps, from what I understand, a combination of these two beasts. You said the smart monster was of more danger the less injured it was, the more material was functioning. And what you're suggesting is that the blood phage can take humans or other humanoids and adopt their blood into its system, adopting material. Then you combine these two properties. Perhaps the blood phage ensures that its fuel ever grows, suggesting that if you were to introduce a combination of the two into any given population, you could have a cascade effect, creating an ever more dangerous creature. For every person it kills, it has more material, perhaps making it more dangerous. A terrifying creature indeed.
What benefit would somebody have from making a creature like this?
Mass death, mass terror. I can think of nothing else. This isn't a tool to fight off monsters. It is the monster. It cannot be used for good. That I can promise you.
Do you think it's possible that the creators of this monster are trying to cause the fear of God in people and make them turn to somebody else as a savior?
I think that might be exactly it if they frame someone for something
Cannot say.
large and sweeping.
I mean,
What
who else
other
would they?
explanation would they have?
Maybe they could. Would they somehow be able to turn this on Azarius to turn favor against him? The Azarius Legion is already spread thin because of the monsters, the things, the madness the Sakaar Syndicate brought in. And if the Azarius Legion is in tandem with the Sakaar Syndicate, there's just so many connections and lines that I don't know where things are connected or blurred or confused, working against each other.
Is a good question. I'm afraid I can give you no more answers. But you are pulling on a spider's web. You attract the spider. I hope you're prepared to kill it.
We can't just get caught.
We go and talk to somebody from the Syndicate. And what if we do that and they're still working to get those masks here? What if they just picked up where the Suns left off and learned nothing? And they're just fueling that power hunger.
But
I
what if
do
they-
not understand those masks. Not their source or their value or their minds, but I don't suspect that they will be of much use to anybody. I suspect what the Suns may have done was a mistake, and with any luck it won't be repeated again.
There's another mask down here now, Celia. Other than the one that we found. This one calls itself the Cartographer, and more are on their way.
At least two, maybe more.
Not say this world gets less interesting by the day. You all are young and you don't know the world before. It used to be better than this. It feels like it only gets worse.
Yeah.
You all deserved a better world than what you got. I'm sorry we couldn't make this for you. You and your ilk.
Do you think there's any hope at all?
I don't know, Aether. I don't know.
Right. So are we just waiting for that message then?
I suppose. The waiting game at this point. Thank you for, as always, answering our numerous questions. They never
Yes,
seem to
dear.
cease. And my blades are fantastic, by the way. Thank you.
I am very pleased to hear that. Perhaps you can cut the spider's web at its source with blades like that.
That's the goal.
It's always a pleasure to see you.
I'm sure we'll see you again soon. Can't quite get rid of us. We're spiders in our own right, always scurrying back.
I would never dream of it. Back to your brood, mother. And the door opens for you.
I am afraid I will have to take my cat with me, though. You have plenty of your own cats, but this one is mine.
Yes, yes. Can't let me forget. And gives you your cat back.
Although, many times I do believe that Inoki likes you better than they like me, so I have to be very careful.
Well, be careful that you stay safe and alive, because if you don't, I'll steal your cat.
I think if I don't stay alive, my cat will cease to exist.
Oh, perhaps we can do something about that.
Oh, Celia. Keep my cat alive, but not me. How charming you are. I do believe that I'll have to talk to Celia at some point about this motorcycle enchantment. I do believe she would find it quite interesting.
I think she definitely would.
All right. You guys, I assume you're going back home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You go back home and you see you go back home and you see a long limo out front of your house.
Hello? What?
As you're approaching, you see a large body step outside. It is a large person with stitches over their all over their body. Oh, you Aether Sharon Whistle, Nyx, and Crumbs.
Who's asking?
I'm an associate of Volgrax.
Oh,
I've come to pick you up for a meeting.
oh, that's happening now. Oh,
I have to praise them for their efficiency.
yes, that would be us.
We're actually going to talk to you anyway. It was just fortuitous timing.
Oh,
Wonderful. Well, our friend here also fit in this limo. I mean, you are able to, but
Yes, it is made for people such as us.
I like your stitches. It's a nice touch.
Thank you. I was born with them.
oh.
Interesting. Cool. Well, are we gonna get into a limo?
Sure. What else? What else are we gonna do?
Just because Nyx is a cautious person, she's going to let Zykia know that they have been picked up by Volgrax. In the event that something happens to them, somebody knows where they are. That is all.
All right. You get a thumbs up and says, "Got it."
Also, a quick thank you from Nyx as well as a separate message.
Just NP. Uh, the vehicle drives for a little bit. It takes you just a little ways into Gearhold. It doesn't go that far. And then it takes you probably I don't know, 10-15 minutes. And then it pulls over into an area with an access to the sewer. Right, this is a mutual meeting spot. Thought you'd be more interested in a place that was of equal terrain. Feels safer that way.
Equal terrain is always nice.
Makes sense.
You go down to a sewer access, and you go down, and you are in the same speakeasy kind of place with the dire troll as the
Yay!
bartender.
What
I
a
love
throwback.
you.
Hey, broski.
Yeah, the dire troll is not there right now. You go down the ladder, and the whole place is empty.
I love that. Broski. I don't, but I do. Sorry.
And behind the counter, you see they're wearing a tuxedo that has the sleeves cut off, like they were torn off. And beneath that, you see bronze plates, as this is a dwarven-ish creature made of bronze and has flame erupting from where the beard is and where the hair is. What? I was expecting you to come.
Oh my god.
I'm assuming that you are Volgrax?
The one and only.
Oh my god.
Well, it's nice to finally put a face to a name.
The feeling's mutual. That time we had a conversation. You've been more useful than most of my mercenaries.
We like to pride ourselves on our abilities and usefulness.
Most certainly.
So we
Uh,
obviously have questions for you, but according to our lovely driver, you have been meaning to have this meeting with us for a while.
that's right. So, you may not understand the hierarchy of the Sakar Syndicate. I have recently taken upon this throne for myself in the absence that you created. Of course, I did not realize that this position would just mean I would be pushed around even more.
I don't think I understand.
The Sakar Syndicate is one of the purest industries in this city. We provide for people what they want, They get what they need, and we get money. We have no schemes or plans. We are just pure power, freedom, and commerce. You got me? This is what we provide. This is what I provide. However, upon my rise to this station, I have discovered that the higher-ups of this syndicate have schemes indeed, and I aim to replace them. I think you would be interested in such a thing.
And why do you think we'd be interested in such a thing?
Hold up, let me get music.
Music
I
time.
apologize.
How dare you? Quite frankly.
Music time, come on.
I was half expecting you to just pull out Spoons' voice.
I love the accent.
All right.
I was very
Yeah?
scared.
It's
All
great.
right. Hello, everyone.
Just like a rough
This
and
is
tumble
me.
Australian.
I'm Volgrax. Hello, everyone.
Hello, everybody. I'm Volgrax.
Hello.
How can I help you all
Guys,
today?
hey guys, it's just me. It's Volgrax, little guy.
It's just a little guy. What are you gonna do about it? Nothing.
All right. So, you may be understanding of a certain scheme involving poisoning the well, as some might put it. Poisoning the blood. Some others might say it.
You mean the gore miasma that turns people into dragons?
No, that's perfect. Pristine. Fine quality goods.
Beg to
What
differ,
I'm
but that's a
discussing
different conversation.
is more akin to a phage.
A phage?
Blood phage.
I'm sorry, I don't think I understand what you mean.
I don't get the
I'm gonna need a
references.
deception check from you.
Okay.
News travels fast.
25.
25. Okay, one sec. I have some stats hidden somewhere.
I like how Nyx is just flawlessly like deceiving the dude, and Aether just like all colorless.
This next is getting the business.
I'll try. Here we are. Oh, that's neat. Okay. And what did you roll next?
25.
Oh, all right. I expected you to be a bit more smart than this. But I'll fill you in, because I still think you're useful. You see, we've got the top of this industry is a head that combines the district's forces and organizes them. Pointlessly, we can do it fine on my own. But the eyes up on top decided that we should be scheming with a Simic order in some sect of the Azarius Legion. They've created a disease to make a monster, and they have us distribute it. I don't want to be responsible for such a thing, nor do I want to be involved with the Simic order. I'm going to replace all of them. And the start of that comes with you getting in the way of their plans. You got me?
I've got you.
Makes sense.
Are you interested in intercepting this plan? Snipping it out at the bud.
Nyx is gonna look at Aether real quick just to sort of read maybe what she's feeling in regards to this. She doesn't want to make a move without
What other information do you have about this, other than just the general plan? Are there any leads for us to follow?
None at all. I'll give you a place and a time and a time to be there.
There for what exactly?
There for intercepting this plan.
To stop distribution.
Like a
of
fight? Are we fighting somebody?
Oh, you're fighting somebody. You see, I'm supposed to be spreading this. I'm supposed to be spreading this stuff all over this district. And I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to let them tell me what to do. So, but I don't control every district yet. That's where you come in. So, you're going to go there at the time that I tell you, and then you're going to stop the spread of this, especially in the most high impact areas, killing the blood phages before they grow too strong. When the deals fall through, there's chaos. That's where I'll come in and take root. Meanwhile, you get to stop the spread of this pseudo-terrorism.
Is this a working with you or a working for you plan?
I don't think of things in terms of loyalty. I think of them in terms of what you can do for me. And that's it.
So what are we
Way to look at it.
supposed to be getting out of this besides, of course, saving people, which is...
I think that's all you need. Of course, you could always just find a time and place without me.
Tell you what. We're generous people. However, I do have some questions and some information that I would like. Provided you can give said information, we might be able to guarantee we do a flawless job. But that depends on how much you're willing to tell us and how much you're willing to find for us.
All right, no promises. What do you want to know?
Well, since you so masterfully dethroned Don Brosco, we figured you might know a little bit of information about what him and his sons were up to. Stories say that they got into some pretty messy business, a little out of their realm of expertise and abilities, and we want to know if you know any more information about that.
I'll tell you what. I think that the sun's just gotten over their head and they died for it. What else is there to say?
I think there's a lot more that you could find for us that you don't already know, and I think that you should do this for us, since we're doing you such a great favor. I mean, that's what friends do, that's what business partners do, and if we are to remain useful to you in the future, then you should probably remain useful to us as well.
All right, I see how this is going. What did I tell you about me liking to get pushed around?
I'm not pushing around. I'm making a
I
business
feel like I'm
deal.
getting pushed. Do you feel like I'm getting pushed around? And he looks over to his companion. He goes, "Oh, I think you're getting pushed around, boss. I don't think you should get pushed around.
This is
You're
not
the big and strong one here."
We are making an even, clear playing field of whatever this is, because I think we all just want answers. You obviously want power, which is fine for you, but if you want us to help you, then we need some answers now.
No. I am doing you a favor to get me where I want to go. I don't want this to be an even playing field. What's going to happen?
Volgrax.
Aether's very upset. I think we are doing you a favor. You are the one getting something out of this.
All right. I think the deal's off. you can just wait until after the terrorism happens, and then you can go over there and sweep up the bodies. How's that?
Let's talk about this, Vilgax. You're an intelligent person. I can tell from this. You came up with this idea yourself. You usurped Don Brosco by yourself, with only our meager assistance. I can tell you're not unintelligent. What I am proposing to you is information that does benefit us, yes, but also benefits you ultimately. Because what we're able to do with this information will make sure, or at least help ensure, that this power that you are going to come into does not get robbed from your hands.
Alright, here's what I can do. Tell me what you want to know, and if I know it, I'll think about telling you. If I don't know it, then I'm going to find out, and then I'm going to tell you if it benefits me.
I can assure you that it would.
Sounds great. Here's the deal. What do you want to know?
Wonderful. So, as I said, Don Brosco's sons, the three of them who were stupid enough to get themselves killed, not by us, were definitely involved in something that they did not understand. We want more information on how they got themselves involved in this. We want more information on what these things might be, where they might be coming from. And basically anything else you can get us. That would be marvelous help to us. And to you as well, because any information you gather will be helpful to you in your protection of your empire that you will be building.
Alright. This sounds like a good deal. I'll look into it.
I certainly would never approach you with a bad one.
Sounds good. So, are you interested in knowing where the terrorism's gonna happen?
I believe that we are, yes.
Kind of important.
In 8 days, in the Sanctorum district. At the Central Avenue between, like, and he lists a specific couple intersections. The phases that I can't stop. Phases that I can't stop the distribution from. Because, you see, the leader of the Sakar Syndicate in the Sanctorum district, she's all in with the Simic Order, you got me? And so they're going to come up from the sewers, up from the pipelines. Too small for humans to fit through, but just big enough for a bunch of water to move through. Or blood. Got me? And they're gonna come on through. They're gonna come up from the pipes. They're gonna erupt into the streets above. And someone there is gonna be controlling them. I bet it's gonna be a bunch of them Simic bastards. You can take out those you can take out the phages. You can take out the Simic bastards if you like. Promise me something. You see that married little shit? Kill him. Look like a big frog.
We'll certainly do our best.
Sounds great.
I'm glad we could have this meeting, Volgrax.
Unless any death you bring to any of those people will benefit all of us mutually. How's that? And he puts over a drink. He passes over a drink and to each of you, and he goes, "Now, if you're interested in any side business, I've got all kinds of drugs here for you."
We appreciate the offer, but I'm afraid we're not looking to get into any business deals like that today.
Sounds great. One more thing. And he takes out another magma shotty. But this one, you see, has 4 barrels, giant barrels stacked on top of each other into this massive gun. Alright. How about you interested in this? A gift from me to you.
We thank you for your generosity.
He tips a little bowler hat with his like weird grimace.
He has a bowler hat on. He's also made of fire.
Oh yeah, but it's like it's made out of like bronze and shit.
Nyx is gonna have Barley transform into a bowler hat And tip right back.
Who takes the Magnum Blast?
I'm assuming Aether.
I'll take it.
We can
Aether
trade out
has
later if you want to.
Dual shotguns.
Aether just becomes a gunslinger.
Oh
Yeah.
God.
Multi-class again.
Well,
Alright.
I suppose we should be on our way. Certainly wouldn't want to keep you from your important business.
Sounds great. Here, here's your number. You can contact my assistant instead of talking through the mechanic.
Right.
The
Fair
weird
enough.
change of the music right when he said that.
Yeah.
I guess we should taking our
Alright,
leave.
toodaloo. On your way.
Peace.
Yeah.
That guy felt like he was trying really hard.
Yes, he very much was trying. Too hard.
Yes, he must.
I could see the gears actually turning in his head as he tried to think each thought. The one brain cell. Whirling around.
I just mean like he felt like he was like I don't know. He felt like disingenuous.
Oh yeah,
Or
incredible.
Engine.
Disingenuous.
It felt like he was trying to be scary. I really was not.
He's not going to survive a day if he tries taking over this whole place.
Honestly, I think he's in over his head thinking he controlled the entire syndicate, but I mean, if it means we get to protect people because of it, and he can get us information, I'm happy to play to his pride. Although, I'm not very happy about that gore miasma, but it's baby steps. I think eventually we can maybe do some convincing if we tell him that if he kills his entire populace of drug users, he won't have a lot of sales.
Yeah.
Also,
Can you give me an insight check, by the way?
I can do an insight check.
Mhm.
I think he just doesn't know how drugs work. I think he's taking over a business he has no idea how to run. And maybe that is best for the syndicate.
A little
Ooh,
crazy though.
25.
He didn't seem to know what you were talking about when you talked about the gore miasma.
Interesting.
Like, he thought you were just insulting the normal product and not the one that turned people into dragons.
Interesting. Okay. Well, that also happened in the Axel district, which is out of his domain, so he wouldn't know about that.
No,
either.
the Axel district is...
Also?
Yeah.
For him?
The his domain is the whole lower bit except for Sanctorum.
Okay. Oh, right. Right, because we were doing stuff about Don Brosco in Gearhold. It's been a while since we've had to deal with that.
It's been a while. Eight
I'm
days.
just-
So for context, you guys have 8 days.
We have 8 days, wow.
It's a long time.
That's 8 days to prepare. Maybe get some allies. Help us fight these things.
Call up all
Yeah.
the Avengers.
Yeah.
Get them all together.
We already have a Hulk. And I guess Aether would be Iron Man
No,
because
what's
she makes all of her things. What would Crumbs be? There's not really a Baker Avenger.
I feel like Crumbs would be like I don't know,
Like
Hulkbuster.
the only thing I can, because do you do a lot of zappy zappy?
Bro,
Lightning
he's like a weird metallic Thor.
I was gonna say like maybe Thor,
Can't
because
fly.
like
He's a very slow Thor.
Thor.
Yeah.
I
Fat Thor.
think that works.
I'm down with that. I like Thor.
I'm just gonna.
I'm also just going
Yes.
to put this out there. Thor was the best Thor in Endgame.
Yeah.
He was my favorite version of Thor by a long shot.
You like to depress
all.
Thor the most.
I did like Depressed Thor the most.
It literally he was as strong as muscular Thor. He just happened to also be depressed. Like it was like empowering.
I think
you
he
know?
was stronger.
Yeah, he was so strong, and he did the whole thing wearing sweatpants and Crocs. Like, come on.
Let's be honest,
not a
like, if you're
fan.
gonna fight in anything, why would you fight in like a big heavy suit, fight in sweatpants?
Yeah,
It
he
relies
actually
on
doesn't fight.
agility.
He puts on armor before the actual fight.
Yeah.
However, you're right. His armor is light armor, medium at most.
Even that, they're just robes with big plates.
Yeah, I think he's got No, he doesn't have shoulder bits. Yeah, you're right. All right. Is there anything you would all like to do today? I assume you guys might want to end at 10.
Yeah, probably. Nyx will just send a final text to Zykia that says, "We're alive."
Good to hear. Anything I should know about?
Maybe we can talk another time.
Boss is a dork.
Volgrax is an interesting character.
I feel like she knows.
She does work for him.
I'll also say something big is coming that we're preparing for. We may need your help. In about 8 days.
You need me? I'll be there.
Aww.
Thumbs up emoji.
I'll be there for you.
All right.
I should
Well
probably
done, everyone.
give this motorcycle a little joyride or something at some point.
Yeah.
Do you want to drive it home?
Yeah, I do.
All right.
Everybody else gets in the limo, and I'm just like, no.
Bye.
She throws it down, and you don't even consciously understand what happens after that, but you find yourself revving the engine, and like as the smoke dissipates, you're already on the vehicle, ready to go. Of the engine going off.
I'm just gonna zoom away and go back to Sharon Whistle.
And you like swerve around, and you like swerve around an Ambernox vehicle, and you go, "Hey, stop that!" Oh boy, she's so far away already. And you just like,
Oh boy.
"Oh boy, she's so far away already."
Oh boy.
Oi.
All right.
I can't think of anything else.
Here's what I'll tell you. Unless you guys have anything big going on, you have 8 days of downtime. More time than you've had in a while. Do you want to talk about what you would like to do?
I actually am interested in the fight clubs that Zykia talked about. I would kind of like if Zykia showed me where they were, because I want to make some money and get out. And Nyx needs to get out some feelings, some trauma.
Yeah.
Who needs therapy? Fight your feelings away. That's what I'll do in the 8 days we got.
Okay.
I'm probably gonna mess with the laser and the magma shot thing, but I can't think of a specific coherent idea right now, so I'll probably text you about that at some point.
Yeah, we can work on all your stuff. You still have the goggles, which can be improved. You can improve any of your magic items.
Yeah. I think for right now, Aether's gonna go to the workshop and sit down and just talk to herself and say specifically, I know what good is. I think. And she just kind of looks up. And I think you and I have very different definitions of what that is. And I'm going to be following my own. She's just gonna like angrily talk to herself and make things.
Rums, anything you'd like to do?
I don't know. Make some cupcakes. Maybe make some actual food for once. Maybe get a real shield instead of a frying pan. I feel like he's been using a pan, which is like okay, but maybe he's like, maybe I should start taking this fighting stuff a little bit more seriously.
What if it was a frying pan that became a shield?
Is that a thing? Can I have that?
Aether can make it.
Can you make a transforming frying pan?
Aether is like in her head, and you say
It's
that
like a
to her.
walk
You go,
that turns into Captain
Aether.
America's shield.
Yeah, Aether, can you make a frying pan shield? And Aether ignores you. He's working on something. Aether,
Like a real,
working.
like a real,
Aether,
like a real shield,
just
like a good
throws
one.
something behind her back, and it's just like made.
Oh, okay. Nice.
Crumbs can take these 8 days to try food. He's always wanted to know what it tastes like.
Oh, true. He's
That's
just gonna
true.
cook like everything. He's like, we've been fighting a lot, and I almost died twice. I'm gonna cook a lot of stuff.
Something else, just to think about. We don't need to talk about it right now, but just something so you're aware mechanically of what you're allowed to do. This is a big fight that you have a lot of time to plan for. You also have a bunch of friends who owe you something or are willing to help you. In this fight, I'm willing to let you have NPCs in this fight.
I'm glad you said that because obviously I already invited Psychia without
Yes,
that
you did.
conversation, so
I don't want anyone to die, though.
it's fine.
That's a concern.
Why don't we just invite a bunch of giants and dragons and stuff that Lizzie made friends with? No chance they win. Kidding, I don't think you can get them to the...
Make
We just
Omar
have-
fight.
Azarius literally come down and burn them all to shreds. Like,
Isn't the Azarius Legion, like, part of this? Isn't that
yeah, we don't
part of
really trust the Azarius Legion. That's right. Well, we don't want to get Omar involved. He has an election to win, so he
I
can't
was
die.
kidding. Why would we have Omar fight in that?
Something though, wasn't the whole point of... Well, I guess I don't know that. So I shouldn't say it. But wasn't the
Maybe you
whole...
got.
wasn't
Did you
the
get filled in?
point of fighting the Don Brasco family? Wasn't the whole point of that to take down the syndicate so that Omar could actually win an election?
It was to help take down the syndicate a peg, and for some people to move in that he could ally with. Essentially, he knew it wasn't going to completely get rid of the syndicate.
I'll actually fill in. From what I remember about it and what I go by is that he knew as like an elected official and pre-elected official. Somebody said Hawkeye is a baker. But as a pre-elected official, he understood that by the proper channels he could not interfere with the syndicate. So he wanted to use unofficial channels in the background to get rid of the syndicate, simply because he thought they were a problem and he wanted them gone. But he couldn't do it in any other way. Hence, he hired you.
So he was trying to get rid of the syndicate.
He was. He had big dreams at first, but after the death of Quipper, determined that settle for what he got.
Makes sense. I also, at some point, like, this is so stupid, but I just, like, want it to happen in canon. I want to go see that musical. I want it to happen. Yeah.
At some point, because she asked, Nyx might sit down with Psyche and tell her a little bit about what happened. Just for the sake of talking to somebody else. But she won't tell too much.
Okay.
That's all.
If we don't have anything we're going to discuss in game, I think we can stop here. And then I wanted to talk to each person individually about a feat I had in mind for them, and just discuss this while I have you all in person.
Okay, maybe next time I'll have stuff that I want to actually like play through before big bad fight.
Oh yes, yeah, we'll have our playtime, our P time, but
as far as like closing, that's my plans for the next 8 days involve Fight Club, talk to Zykia, help Aether if she needs help.
awesome. So real quick before we get in, how did you guys feel about this game?
I had a great time.
Stressed, but happy. But
I'll be honest, I was tired and didn't pay attention for the first, like, 3/4. But when I started paying attention, it was great. I had a great time.
All right,
Feels
that
like-
works for you.
I feel like I need to pay more attention. Because I was actually rewatching some of the old episodes earlier, like yesterday, and, like, I used to be like such an active participant. But I'm just not anymore.
Yeah. I'm sorry about that.
But in the same boat though, like that was kind of the point of all of my characters. I've tried to, ever since Howl, I've done nothing but try to design side characters and failed horribly because I never shut up. So maybe me not talking a lot is a good thing. Although I think I've
That's
also
true,
said
but
this
you should.
in past episodes. But I should still
You
like,
have, but
be involved.
you should. And you know, even Digit, who was distinctly a side character, had some great times in the story mode.
Digit!
So
I was
don't think
rewatching,
that
like,
just.
Quipper stuff, and like, I don't know, maybe I'm just full of myself, but I said some funny stuff. I was actually like laughing because I always watch it in 2x speed, and for some reason I find everything so much funnier because I guess it's just like better, it's just faster paced. But like, it's great. Some of those jokes, they were terrible. It's good stuff.
All right, we can turn off the stream now. Thank you so much, Andrew and what was the Key Lime. Really appreciate you watching. I hope you keep watching or watch some of the old videos. But have a great day. I hope you enjoyed yourself.
Adios.